Coming up,
we talk about New Year, Christmas, Marvel, and a bunch of other crap.
we review Being the Ricardos,
We review Boiling Point.
and we disclose our top 10 films and TV shows of the year. It's one list. It's not like two
It's a
lists.
collated
It's
list.
a collated films and TV together.
Yes. All the film and television, we do a top 10 of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Do. Hello.
Hi.
If you're just joining us, welcome to 2022,
Uh-huh.
the year where it finally happens.
Oh, no. What do you mean by it?
I'm Jordan, and I'm joined by Sam,
Hey,
and this is the 57th episode of the Funfiltered podcast.
explain yourself.
Well, it's just, it could apply to anything.
Oh, right, okay. You're just kind of putting a placeholder.
Yeah.
Right. Something will happen.
So when it does happen this year,
Yes.
they can go, fuck, they knew all along.
Do you have any... Can you speculate on what it might be?
Oh, I couldn't possibly do that.
No.
No.
No idea, or because you do have an idea?
No, well, it would be, what's the word? When,
Confirmation bias?
not confirmation bias, that's two words.
Yeah. All right.
No, when you,
Self-fulfilling prophecy?
kind of, you saying the thing stops it from happening.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a term for that?
It's like the opposite of self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
where, your...
A self-unfulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, your knowledge of the events, or your, declaration of the events, kind of, disrupts them from
Is
happening.
it like atoms? Like if you're watching an atom, it won't do its thing. Like physics proves that.
Well, we kind of hope that atoms are always doing their thing.
Yeah, but
we're kind of fucked if atoms stop doing
It's
their
the
thing.
observer effect, isn't it? It's basically the
Maybe that's what I'm
principle
trying to
of
think
a
of.
watched pot never boils.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same thing, but it is true. If you're waiting for a message from somebody and you're incessantly checking to see if they've seen it, they will never respond.
Yeah.
But if you forget about it for a second, they'll respond.
Yes.
That's just like a law of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I can't tell you about it.
Okay. I think it could be... No, fuck it. Let's make some prognostications about 2022.
All right, fuck it.
I think the Queen will die.
It's about time, isn't it?
It's about time. There's also that thing of elderly couples, when one goes, the other is quick to follow.
Yeah. I know there were some reports this year, right, that she was in hospital.
She's been ill a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to die.
Okay.
I think... What else is going to happen?
Is Biden going to finally die?
No, he might step down, though.
Okay. Because she's already had power once, hasn't she? Old Kamala.
Camel.
Yeah, old Camel. Camel Harris.
Yeah, well, no, they don't like her anymore.
Oh, they don't like her anymore?
No. The party don't like her anymore.
What'd she do?
I don't know. They seem to be sidelining her. I think because they realise how... The Democrats, they appear to be arriving in various areas to, the bare bones of self-awareness.
Okay.
So now a lot of them are talking about natural immunity and how, look, we don't govern our lives around the flu, so we shouldn't govern our lives around COVID.
Okay.
They're kind of getting there now. And the same with her. I think they've started to realise that she's bad for the brand.
Right.
That she's fundamentally insincere. And she's just very unlikable. She's not a good person to put out in front of...
Yeah.
Because she does seem so artificial. I mean, she makes Hillary Clinton look sincere. Yeah, so maybe he'll step down, but I don't know what that would mean.
Okay.
What else is going to happen this year? It's going to be a better year for film.
Yes. Well...
Yeah.
That's sort of... Yeah.
That's hovering over this episode.
Yeah. We're going to get to all of that, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't even know, actually, what is coming this year. Because last year, there's a new... Tenet was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a new Wes Anderson film. There's a new Edgar Wright film.
Two new Edgar Wright films.
Two new ones.
James Bond.
A new James Bond film. Yeah, there was a lot going in.
New Matrix film.
A new Matrix film. I can't think of a single thing at the moment, other than Batman.
Well, there's also Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
There is that. Which I'm sure we will review.
This is going to be a big year for Sonic.
Why else is it going to be a big year?
You've got the film that's coming out April, I think.
I don't know. You would know. Don't pretend like you're unsure.
No, it's April 8th, 2022.
Okay.
I'm I'm putting something into it.
Okay.
I'm like being like, oh, who knows?
Yeah.
But no, I knew.
Is that for the UK?
Got it fucking furiously carved into my wall.
The day it all ends.
Yeah. Yeah, it finally happens.
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? You're finally going to go Columbine after Sonic 2 comes out.
Well, no, because that's the first Sonic thing. There's 3 Sonic things this year. Maybe 4 if that collection of like the old games ever comes out.
Very quickly, sorry, because I don't think I'll be able to return to this point.
Okay.
That's the 3rd time Columbine has reared its head today, which means now that it's meaningful.
Okay.
So I put song covers on Instagram, and today, like not for any reason, they are random. I have a collection of just recorded songs from months of build up, and I just release at random. And today I released the Nobodies, which is inspired by the Columbine.
Oh yeah.
the Marilyn Manson song.
Yeah.
And then I happened to watch Elephant, which is Gus Van Sant film that's inspired by the Columbine killings. And now this is the 3rd.
Okay.
So I don't know if that means anything. You'd be the expert on that. So.
Well, you seem to have gone into a nasty habit of falling into patterns recently.
Yeah. What was the last one?
Well, the big one. I don't know if it's a pattern so much as it's a warning. That's what you've taken it as.
Yeah. Genius segue, by the way. Because I wanted to... I was going to just not bring it up because that was seamless.
Yeah.
But... No, you should get praise for what you just did.
Okay.
I wanted to bring this up at some point.
Yeah.
And thought, I'll figure it out. But I can't think of a better segue. So yeah, I'll do that, and then you can tell us about Sonic.
Okay, sure.
The number, or numbers, however you want to look at it, 1, 2, 3, keep recurring in my life.
Okay.
It started with the phone, because I'm usually up at 1:20, and I would always check my phone at that time. And then I was thinking, right, it is a kind of confirmation bias. I'm looking at the phone a lot, and I just happen to notice when it's 1, 2, 3. But that's not the case.
Okay.
Because I was like, right, be mindful of that. And so I was not doing it.
Okay.
But every time I checked, it would still be 1, 2, 3. And it's everywhere. It's, if I notice a house number, it's 1, 2, 3. And then so I'm thinking, right, because I'm thinking this, is that the reason that it's just like, it's raising its head above the parapet of existence because I've detected it. But now other people are noticing it too. It's an objective reality now.
In the sense that they notice that you're noticing it, or it's happening to them as well? Like you've infected them with 1, 2, 3?
No, it's not an infection they're taking away with them, but it's happening to me in the company of others.
Okay.
So the first thing was I was on Skype with somebody, and they were like, I was on it for 4 hours. I hadn't looked at my phone. And they said, I'll check your phone for this. And it was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Right. You can see that. I held my phone up to the camera.
Yeah.
And then we were watching The Matrix Resurrections.
This is the culmination of it, isn't it? Yeah.
The film, when we watched stream things, it very rarely stops or buffers or anything like that. But it did at 1 minute, 23 seconds. And you saw it.
As we were literally descending into the Matrix.
Yeah. I was like, no. The fact it's the Matrix... with the whole deja vu black cat glitch in the Matrix thing.
Yeah.
No, this is... Yeah, that was the apogee of it. It's... Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Don't explain what you just did.
It's gutting because this is no longer... This isn't the case anymore.
Right, but when you...
Yeah, no. We've got a video, one of our best performing videos, actually.
Which is depressing.
It's a conversation that you had with James Humphreys. Shout out James Humphreys. It was his birthday recently.
I forgot to say happy birthday.
I didn't.
Oh, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't you look bad.
Well, this is me doing it now.
Okay.
Happy belated.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, you had a conversation with James Humphreys. I think it was around about the time... It was literally like just after the George Floyd incident.
It was just in the wake of that, yeah. Yeah. That's mainly what we talked about.
Pretty much, yeah. And I just so happened to go online and like on YouTube, and occasionally I get recommended our own videos. Right. because okay. And yeah, Fun Divided with Sam and James Humphreys, Funfiltered, released a year ago, 123 views. So I thought, I'm taking a photo of that. Yeah. And I'm showing it to Sam, and thank God I waited until now.
Yeah.
So but unfortunately, it's now 124. Because I just wanted to be was
that you?
No, that wasn't me.
Right.
I think that just happened. I just wanted to be like... We were just like, you were in the room one day, and I just happened to scroll past there at 1, 2, 3, but it moved on, so I had to take a photo.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see that something's happening.
Well, you're certainly making a fuss about it.
Well, you're seeing that it's a thing.
No, yeah, but that was just like...
It's like, if it was a case of, I just keep seeing 1, 2, 3 are the first 3 numbers, you're going to occasionally see them...
In sequence as well.
In sequence, yeah. You're going to see them somewhere. Like if someone was going, okay, hide and seek, 1, 2, 3, I wouldn't go, oh my God! But it's like unnaturally occurring, isn't it? It's times, and it's...
Well, it's like only unnatural in the sense that you're noticing it a lot. Like this is all...
Yeah.
These are all plausible places for the numbers 1, 2, 3 to show up.
No, of course,
right?
yeah. It's not like, I didn't just wake up one day and there's blood on my wall that says 1, 2, 3. No. Yes, it's not breaking the laws of the universe, but it's still odd that... Again, it's like I'm sitting waiting. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Things are stopping or drawing my attention to it when it's at 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the fact I happen to look at my phone when it's 1, 2, 3. The film stopped at 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
We were driving past a row of houses the other day. You couldn't see the number of the house on any of them except house 1, 2, 3.
Right.
It's things like that. Like, I'm not going mad. This is a genuine thing. I'm not ascribing meaning to it, by the way.
I was going to say, it's fun being on the other side of this.
Yeah, I'm not, but I'm not ascribing. I don't think there's a thing going on.
Okay.
In that sense. In fact, maybe it's worse because the conspiracy goes higher with me.
Okay.
I don't think people are up to something. I think the universe is trying to tell me something.
Right.
But I'm just not sure what it is yet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
Maybe this is
Fodder.
No, foreshadowing the coming of it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
This is like the first seal being broken.
Well, I've incorporated it into a long-standing script that I've been writing.
Okay.
So does that suggest that the script might see some traction this year?
Is the universe that compelled to give you, like, material?
The universe hasn't treated my material well thus far. It owes me a break. so maybe it's finally...
I'm just wondering, like, whether that's incredible or infuriating, having the universe be your, like, script editor. Well, where it's like you've written the thing, and the universe is like, this is good, but it needs more like 1, 2, 3 in it. Yeah. So now your life is going to be, you notice 1, 2, 3 and nothing else for like the next.
Yes,
3 months.
To be fair, not to be. It's not a wanky point. It's just a fact. All writing is that, isn't it? The universe affects. You overhear a thing like, well, I'm gonna put that into the script.
But that's like a momentary, like you're in a coffee shop and you hear a guy say, you know, like,
it's not like hammering in a point.
Yeah,
you must integrate.
Yeah, it's
1,
like
2, 3.
no, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
no, it's not that.
So I'm hoping if I write about it, it will purge it.
Okay.
It won't though,
or it'll like
deepen.
It'll bring it. It's like it's that moment in the horror film where they read the Latin book.
Yeah,
it's like what are you reading the Latin book for? You don't read the Latin book. Yeah, don't write 1, 2, 3 down, Sam. Don't like commit it to paper.
But that's the thing. Will the universe break its own boundaries? Because I didn't read no Latin book. I didn't invoke this. It just started happening to me. I know saying if I double down, if I address it, it will get worse. But the only way it could get worse is if it really starts warping reality.
Okay.
It would be just on my wall one day, it says 1, 2, 3. But then I'd have to question, is that me? Is that me going insane and I'm writing 1, 2, 3 on the wall? I don't know. There's stuff going on.
Okay. So keep us posted.
I'll keep you posted. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing... It's just going to be, it's happening. It keeps happening.
Okay.
But if it develops, if it hits the next level, then I will keep you posted.
Okay.
So Sonic.
Yes. It's not that interesting after what you just brought up, is it?
Okay.
Yeah, we got the film coming out on the 8th of April 2022. And then we've got the Netflix TV show, which they haven't really released any information about yet, so we don't know too much about it. Other than it's another multiverse, because of course it is.
Yeah.
I don't know when that started.
It's definitely a thing now.
It feels like everything is doing it now.
Yeah.
And I really don't know what the trigger is, because Marvel weren't it's not like Cinematic Universe where Marvel was like the clear progenitor of this thing, or at least they got it right the first time, quote unquote, and everyone else was trying to copy it. Marvel are doing it along with everyone else.
Yes.
So I don't know who did it first or who did it well enough that's just like, we're all doing multiverse shit now. But it is happening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a trend that I would say definitely has there's something to it.
Yeah.
It's not random. It's not... I mean, you could say, just the success of the Marvel films. Again, like Chocolate Orange. It's just people are echoing it because it's working for them, apparently.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because you're right. It didn't come first. It wasn't the first thing to do this.
I don't actually know. And maybe this is me showing my ignorance more than like being an accurate reflection of like the causality of things. I don't know what the first big multiverse thing was in this new trend.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
The first time I knew it, like I sort of heard it come to our attention, is when we talked about DC. Like they haven't done a multiverse thing yet.
No.
But they said they're like, oh, everything exists in like alternate continuities.
Yeah. Well, Michael Keaton is playing Batman in The Flash, isn't he?
Yeah. And I know that this was sort of like, I think this was like pre-Spider-Man that this was announced, or at least like we didn't really know much about Spider-Man
but not pre-MCU dabbling in the multiverse thing.
I suppose not, no. But yeah, no, it's just like, the only thing I can think is like what I said, I think during that conversation, it's something we've kind of continued, like a point that we've made through all our multiverse conversations, is that the advantage is you can do like your version of the thing, quote unquote, without invalidating the versions that came before.
Well, it's a couple of things, isn't it? It's postmodern, like we've done postmodern. Like how do you go bigger? Well, you do multiple universes.
Yeah.
And also maybe it speaks to that thing of if you liked the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, they still exist within this continuity.
Yeah.
It's almost like it all has to be, you can't enjoy them separately. And so now we have to umbrella everything together. It's almost like hyper-inclusivity, isn't it?
I was going to say that like the funny thing is that was probably the original like nugget that like got them thinking. Is like, oh, we want people to enjoy Tobey Maguire in isolation. We don't want them thinking that like, you know, oh, like this Spider-Man has replaced Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he still exists.
Yes.
You can still enjoy him. And then I suppose the natural progression of that is, oh shit, if he still exists out there, that means we can use him.
What it also does, I mean, ultimately it's cynical, isn't it? Just because it's like you can keep making more of that stuff and cashing in on fandom.
Did I say it might have stayed in? I have no idea. We ended up not cutting much of the Spider-Man review, in fairness.
No.
A lot of it stayed.
Yeah.
A lot of that episode stayed.
Okay.
Given how much of it there
If you
was.
say so.
Yeah, given how much of it there was, a lot of it did end up staying. But I think I said that, like, oh, they're done with the multiverse Spider-Man now. They did it once, they're not going to do it again unless they're, like, in trouble. But there's already been shit, like, articles and shit saying that, like, oh, no, Marvel want Maguire and Andrew Garfield to be in the next Avengers film.
Yeah.
It's like, what? No. No, you did it. You can't. He's not. You can't let Tobey Maguire can't be Spider-Man again.
No.
Like, it worked once, but even in that film, he was kind of like, you could tell that he was just sort of riding it. He was just kind of like, I'm
sure.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm back. Okay, all right. Hello.
Well, what it also does, I think maybe subconsciously, because, you know, when it comes to stuff like this, I always ascribe it to, it's money. It's usually about money, you know, with these studios. But what it subconsciously does is that it affirms that franchise is the canon. You know, it's the alpha canon.
Yeah.
So now that we've integrated Tobey Maguire and Garfield into that, we're saying, they do exist as part of our universe, our multiverse.
All of a sudden, after No Way Home, Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man 2. He's not he's not Spider-Man 1, he's Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, by hoovering up everything.
Yeah.
This is the dominant. It's not even possible now to make alternate versions of this character.
Because they'll always just be spin-offs of this version of Spider-Man.
The MCU is the narrative.
Yeah.
It's the greatest story ever told.
Is it just us, or do these things become more sinister the more you think about them?
Yeah. Well, it is.
It's not just us ascribing cynicism and sinisterness to them.
Well, I think
they do actually get more nasty the more you think about them.
Well, look, I think it's fair to ascribe cynicism to them. That's almost certainly. I'm not saying that the people involved in making it don't also want to make a good film. But the studio doesn't give a shit, really. They want to make money. And that's fine. We've talked about this before. That's what studios are for. They're there to make money. And it allows for films that won't make as much money to get made. They're needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is, you know, I think the whole thing is bad. I think studios making money for more independent films to get made is good. But I think Marvel films and films like that, yes, there are some good ones, but the whole edifice is not a good thing for the world. I think its deleterious effects far outweigh its positive effects.
Right.
Its positive effects are people enjoy them, but people enjoy loads of shitty things. Loads of things that are bad for them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing culturally. They're not making things better. They're making things worse. So what's the virtue? There isn't one.
I don't know. I guess that like they've created like a reliable, for the people who do just kind of watch
Pap.
Yeah. They've created reliably competent pap. Like
but that's sinister.
Geostorm is pap, right?
Yes.
I think that's probably more in line with like your typical Hollywood pap.
Yeah.
And that's like, that is proper pap. But like a Marvel film, it's like, no, this is like slightly better than that.
It is.
I feel less guilty about watching this. I
don't feel less guilty.
Less like, only in terms of like the quality of it.
Yeah.
Like you watch Geostorm, it's like, oh, I'm lowering myself to this. Whereas with Marvel, it's like, no, there's good stuff in
I
here.
know what you mean, like you're intellectually lowering yourself.
Yeah.
But I'd rather watch something like Geostorm, which I know is going to be trash, than a Marvel film. There's something about its... Because Eternals is an anomaly, but there is something about their unwavering competence that I really don't like. Because they're all, they're better than pre-MCU Marvel films. There are some really great ones, and there are some really bad ones. On the mean, the MCU is better than the things they were doing before. But yeah, now we talked about it in the Spider-Man review. It's like, it's just being wrapped in a blanket. You're not going to get challenged. It's going to be well made enough to get a good critical reception.
Yeah.
And stay in your box. I'd rather get films that are like... I'd rather watch something that was really bad, that you could enjoy for its badness.
Yeah.
Rather than like this cruising altitude the MCU are at. They plateaued ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't envision them doing something where you go, oh my god, like that is so... I know Infinity War is often brought up as the end of that, but the fact is, if you're an adult, you know they're coming back. And...
Yeah, I suppose the thing with Infinity War is that it's not so much that they've done something that's like genuinely challenging, for lack of a better word. It's like, oh my god, they've killed all of these people. Yes. God knows what's going to happen.
Right.
It's more the fact that they did it. They relied on the fact that you knew they were coming, rather than just like having them all erased and then at the end be like either bringing them all back straight away or like doing a thing where it's like, oh, it's okay, they will come back.
Well, I don't
like
think
they at least kept up the pretense long enough.
I know you're saying it doesn't end with like reassurance. I don't think that's relying on though the fact that we knew that they were going to come back. It's relying on most people not thinking that. So they'll go and see Avengers Endgame in the hope that they bring them back.
Yeah. Or just the like, I know they're going to bring them back, I want to see how.
Right. But I mean, right, okay, when the portals scene happens and you get those theatres of people whooping and cheering, what are they cheering? The surprise that they're back?
I think the catharsis.
Right, okay. In what sense? Because this is the thing I never quite understood, right? Infinity War came out in 2018?
Yeah.
And then Endgame in 2019. It's not like seasons of television here where you're waiting for Hank to find out that he's Heisenberg.
Yeah.
It was a year. It wasn't like they were gone for yonks.
Yeah.
It was the next film.
It was a year with like a bunch of filler in between, right? Ant-Man and Captain Marvel, I think.
And Endgame is a long film, so maybe part of that catharsis is, oh, thank fuck. It's near the end. But do you know what I mean? Like, catharsis works, obviously... It works better the longer you go without that release. Yeah. And it was one film away, basically. Yeah. And it's never quite understood. They're just cheering, seeing the people.
No, it is that. And I think it's how many people there are. The culmination of like, oh, everyone is here. Everyone is represented.
You know, it must have been one of the first episodes in the grand scheme of things. We vowed to not talk about Marvel.
I was thinking of that. And I was thinking about the fact that, I think it's basically every episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're making the same points as well.
A lot of the same points. But now, that's the thing. I feel... Because the thinking was, if you don't name the school shooter, they won't get the notoriety and the fame they want.
Right.
That's what that was. Like, we're not going to raise ourselves. raise ourselves. We're not gonna. I meant like rise to the bait.
Oh yeah,
no. We're not gonna lower ourselves to it. But now I do feel responsibility to talk about it because after last year, when there were 9 or 10, however many shows and films, they must be stopped. We have to acknowledge the elephant in the room.
That has to be that's going to be an anomaly, right?
I doubt it.
There being 9 or 10 Marvel things.
I highly doubt it.
Because that was everything had been delayed because of COVID as well.
Okay, maybe it's a slight uptick.
Yeah.
But I reckon there'll be 5 or 6.
There'll still be too much.
Yeah.
There'll still be far too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there being 9 or 10, that is like obscene.
Yeah.
Like the amount that they've got. So yeah, we're not gonna get away from Marvel.
Let's get away from Marvel.
We don't want to become the Marvel complainy people.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we have other things to say.
But we do have other things to say.
Yeah. Such as,
how was your Christmas?
It was alright.
Yeah.
I had a turkeyless Christmas.
Okay.
Which was not alright. No, yeah, that bit was not alright. Yeah, my aunt and uncle and cousin, they come over every Christmas to our house. And the division of labour is they do the meat, we do the veg and the gravy and everything else. And then they bring the meat over and the meal is won.
Yeah.
At last, it is won. But then 20 minutes before they were supposed to turn up, they rang us and said, look, we've all got COVID. Should we still come over? Yeah? I'm like, no, no, you stay in the house. Yeah. So like the payoff was, I don't want it to sound like, just in case they do end up listening to this for some reason, some lunatic shows this to them. It's not like, we feel so on edge when they're here at Christmas. But like when you have people over your house, you do end up filling the role of like host, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like there are people in my house. I have to keep them. They're in
entertained.
I have to keep them entertained and comfortable. Like they're in my house. I have to, And there was none of that. So it was a far more relaxed Christmas that we had, which was nice. That we could do it at our own pace, and we had like enough food for 7, but between 4 people, that was really good.
Yeah.
It did mean we had to defrost some frozen chicken, and then have like recently defrosted chicken for our Christmas dinner. But I don't know, because like I said to you at the time that I feel like we kind of got the better end of the deal. I know turkey is Christmas, and no turkey
is not
Christmas.
Yeah.
But I think you're more screwed if you're out without veg and gravy on Christmas Day than you are with a turkey.
Definitely not.
Why not? A Christmas meal is as much the veg as it is the meat.
No, it's not. You've gone mad with all this stuff.
What do you mean I've gone mad with all this?
It's not. It's important. Yes, it's important to make it a proper dinner.
Yeah.
But it's not as important as the turkey, is it? Turkey is...
The turkey...
Like, name a Christmas food. Broccoli. No.
Sprout.
You could
have said sprout.
Yeah, but it's not though, is it? Turkey is the Christmas food.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not underselling the importance of turkey.
You're overselling the importance of veg.
I don't think I am.
So you think you're more...
So if like,
it is less Christmassy...
You come over to your father's on Christmas Eve and he's like, Sam, there's a plate of turkey.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you get. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be unusual.
Yeah.
But I would go, well, at least it's turkey. At least it's Christmas. I mean, I have all the other stuff with Sunday roast dinner.
Nah, but not like...
No, do you know, I don't...
It's different on Christmas,
You're certainly not more screwed if you don't have the vegetables.
Well, it's not a meal anymore.
No, if you're talking about all the vegetables together...
Yeah. We have to find an alternative to turkey on Christmas Day. Well, we're not going to find turkey, but we can certainly find meat that will work with the meal.
No, okay.
As opposed to, we have to replace the potatoes and the peas and the gravy and the carrots and the parsnips and all that.
It's certainly easier to replace the meat than all of the veg. I will concede that.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't think it's more Christmas worthy if you have all the veg but not the turkey. If you know what I mean. I will admit that you have the better end of the deal if you have the various things that you were supplying and you're lacking one thing. But that one thing happens to be the most important thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like we both came out of Christmas worse off for it. Both parties.
Yes. And look, turkey, my father gives me a turkey crown and I'll have like turkey baguettes on Christmas Eve. And then you have your dinner and then you just dip into it, the rest of it. So the turkey itself can, you can have turkey rolls or turkey
but not
sandwiches.
On Christmas Day. Not for your Christmas lunch.
Not for your Christmas, no. But turkey, it applies more broadly than just the dinner.
Well, you can have a fry-up. That's what we tend to do. We have our Christmas dinner, and then whatever's left over, we do it as a fry-up the following day.
Okay.
Which can be just as enjoyable as, like, the meal. Because obviously, like, typically, we'd have turkey with that as well.
Yes.
And other meats as well. No, actually, it was the pigs in blanket that I missed.
Yeah.
It was a bit like, no turkey on Christmas. That's a bit not traditional. But it was the pigs in blanket that I actually really missed when I was eating the meal.
I'm not sure if I had pigs. I usually do. My father's a butcher, so it's usually loads of meats.
Yeah.
It's beef. It's usually beef, turkey, and pigs in blanket.
Okay.
This year there was no beef. It was pork, and I don't even really like pork.
Okay.
So I don't know what he was playing out there.
Pork or gammon?
It was pork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, it wasn't gammon.
Yeah.
I don't think we had pigs in blanket though. But I was helping him up his shop, and he was like, "Oh, anything you want to take with you?" And I just took an industrial-sized bag of pigs in blankets. So I do have pigs in blankets in the freezer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So,
and I'm assuming that wasn't an invitation.
What?
You declaring that you had pigs in blanket?
Oh no,
no,
of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
I'll share those, am I?
I just said that I missed my pigs in blanket this year. It's like, I have plenty. I have loads for loads of people.
I've loads for loads of people that I'm going to eat alone.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Christmas was uneventful. I have nothing to say about it, really, other than it's dead. It really is over now.
Oh, because it wasn't dead last year for you.
No. Not as dead, certainly. I was over it, but I was able to... I'm not sure if we talked about it on the podcast last year or whatever, but that insincerity that you're supposed to have with people you don't really like.
Yeah.
Extended family or just random people that you're having dinner with. I have dinner with, there's no way they're going to listen to this. My father, his housemate, and his housemate's mum.
Yeah.
And she's just not pleasant company. She's not like a bad and horrible person. It's just she's moany and she's kind of just a nuisance. She gets in the way and she doesn't help, but that kind of thing. But last year, 2020 Christmas, when I went there, I was able to walk in and go, "Merry Christmas, Di." Her name's Diane. I wasn't telling her to die. And she would, "Merry Christmas, love." And it was like, it felt fake, but comfortable fake.
Okay.
Usually I'd be socially awkward about having to do something like that. But that's adulthood now.
Okay.
It should be insincere, sincerely. And that was I just didn't give a shit this year.
Right.
I just didn't want to be there. I wanted the food.
Yeah.
But now Christmas is just a good meal for me.
Okay.
The presents are, there's socks and they're all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not massive on eating loads of chocolate and roses and all that anymore. So it's just a good meal and then take me home.
Right.
Like I'm good now.
Okay.
I just want to put the stuff away, throw all the plastic and paper in the bin and take the tree down and restart. That's what I want. The day I was looking forward to most was, we're recording this on the 4th of January, was yesterday, the 3rd, a Monday. Because it's going to be the first normal week again.
Right, okay.
Like normal routine and normal everything.
Even though that was a bank holiday.
I don't work, so it's all the same to me.
No.
Yeah, so, but it'll be back to a normal routine now.
Okay.
And that's what I couldn't wait for. Just okay, weekly cinema releases, what are they? Let's watch them.
Yeah.
Just back to normal.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think it was, I think I'm going to say that you did tell that story last year on the podcast about going over and being like, Merry Christmas. And I think you were nicer about it.
Well, that's because I was in the zone.
I was going to say, maybe that's, that alone is an indication of how much your opinion and your mood has changed over the course of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. So Christmas was just whatever for you.
It was a whatever. Okay. It was a nice dinner. I deliberately, when we first left school, our year would reunite every Christmas Eve in the local spoons.
Yeah.
And then year by year, it just receded and it just doesn't happen anymore. For it was 9 years ago that we left school. But yeah, so we would go out and then I'd have Christmas dinner and be hungover. And then the first year I didn't go, I was like, this is much better.
Sober Christmas.
But I would usually have turkey rolls or something in the morning.
Right.
This year I ate nothing. No, I'm only eating the meal.
Okay.
I was able to finish it. I finished it anyway. Obviously I did. But I was to finish it. And
not a coward.
It was. I'm not a fucking pussy. I was going to say something else then. I was gonna say
Glad you didn't.
I was going to say a word starting with F.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Louis C.K. watching too much Louis C.K.
All right.
But I was going through stages, and like I was announcing them as it happened. I was like, okay, stage 1, and you stop tucking in. Stage 2 is what you're a bit full now. You're a little bit full. And then stage 3 is when you are full, but you haven't finished the meal.
Right.
And then you start getting the sweats, and there's various stages.
Yeah.
Unbuttoning the jeans or whatever, letting your stomach hang out. And my tactic was, I'm going to outrun my appetite. I'm going to eat quickly enough that I can eat everything without my body realizing, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I just I enjoyed it, but I just sprinted through it.
Okay.
And it was nice. That was it.
Okay.
That was Christmas.
Okay.
What about New Year?
New Year was a bit different.
Yeah.
Because we were both in each other's company for that.
We were.
Well, what did we do, Sam?
What did we do?
What did we do to see in 2022?
Well, we were with a friend of ours.
We were.
We stayed in my house.
We did.
We did a quiz.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, in our defense, we're basically back in lockdown again. Like, all the nightclubs and closed and everything.
I wouldn't have wanted to do that.
But I was going to say that's like implying that we would have gone out anyway, and I don't think we would have.
No, done with that.
Yeah.
Nice little... I was speaking to someone I went to university with the other day. I said, I'm at the age now where I'm in quiet night in age.
Yeah.
I know we're only 27, 26, but it's like... I have kind of done that. I don't really... There's nothing to be gained from it.
I suppose the next phase now is like... I remember when we used to go out when we were younger. We should do that again.
Yeah, it'll be novelty now. It'll be, we haven't gone out for months and months. Let's go out. And it is good when you do that, to be fair. Because when you go out like 18 to 21 or like every week, and then when I was 22, 23, and I was living in halls every day, basically, or every other day, you go out. And you're just going out for the sake of it. And you don't enjoy it. And you're always expecting something. Because, people go like, oh, maybe I could get laid. That's what the thing that dominates a lot of it. And now it's like, the last time I went out, sort of for my birthday, there were two of us, at the end, for most of it, two of us, not hitting on anyone, like not doing anything like that. And it was just fine.
Wouldn't there some people come up to you and be like, what are you doing here, Grandpa?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we realised, like, right, if the bulk of the people here are 18, 19, we are going to look much older, for one. They do look significantly younger.
They do.
And most of them were born after Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And that's when you go, right, yes, it's a different generation.
There were songs, like when I was there, because the particular place we were in, they were playing music, but they also had like music videos on screens to accompany it.
Yeah, that's new, yeah.
But there were songs that like I didn't recognise at all.
Right.
But they were getting a reaction from the crowd. In the same way that like when Mr. Brightside comes on, everybody's like, oh, here's the thing. And then they do the Mr. Brightside thing.
Yeah.
There were songs that there was like generating a similar reaction.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what the songs were. It was like, oh,
Can you remember any of them?
No, I have no idea.
Just know.
Yeah, it's not even a case of like, I knew the artist, but I don't know the name. Like, I know nothing about this music.
I don't remember feeling that.
No, but the point I was going to make is like, have we reached the age now where like, in the same way that if you're going to go out to a certain place, Mr. Brightside's got to be on the playlist, Bohemian Rhapsody's got to be on the playlist. Is there like a whole generation of music that is now like, oh, that's got to be on the playlist because everybody knows that. Well, it's just I'm too old for it.
There are songs like, I think they played All the Small Things maybe, or a Blink-182 song anyway.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, that's nostalgic for us, even if we don't like it, because we were 6, 7, 8, and we kind of grew up with that song.
Yeah, yeah.
And for them, it's old music.
Yeah.
It's music before they were born. And
why don't they play anything that I know here? Like that kind of music.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I did a thing the other day. It was like, there's like an online quiz site that just every now and again I dip into, and they have a quiz of the day. And it was it gave you every number one of 2021. Right. And you had to guess the artist. And I didn't know any, like, I guessed Ed Sheeran because he's a person. I couldn't ascribe a song to him. I think I guessed Taylor Swift or someone like that. Yeah. But I didn't know any of the songs. I didn't know most of the people that would... music, I'm out of it. Yeah. Pop music, like that, not a clue. I have been for a while. And I'm happy about that because I was in the car going down to Cardiff for like a couple of months ago, and Radio 1 was on, and I couldn't tell, genuinely, not being crotchety, and I couldn't tell where one song ended and another began. like when they didn't have a link between songs and they just went straight to the next song. Not a clue. It's all just over auto-tuned women being profane and talking about like sucking dick and all that, but like from an empowered standpoint.
Yeah,
that's what most pop music seems to be now, because every other word was muted. I was why you bother even writing these songs?
I know, like I have a problem when they God, we are old men. I have a problem when they
you were talking about Spider-Man, said you wanted them to turn up the volume in the cinema.
Can't hear you. I left my hearing aids at home. No, like I have a problem when they release green band trailers for like 18 movies, 18 plus movies. It's like, no, it's not for you. Right. You can't legally go watch this. Why is there a trailer for you?
It's like a wink, isn't it? Because they know that kids are going to seek it out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So the fact that like the popular music that all the kids are buying now, it's like, oh, you can't listen to it in public.
Yeah.
Well, what's the fucking point of the music then?
Yeah, you can't listen to it in the day.
Yeah.
On the radio.
Like Rage, what was it? Killing in the Name of Rage Against the Machine. That was like a novelty. That was like a cultural moment. It was, yeah, because it beat the X Factor one that I really fucking hated as well. Well, that's the thing. It had, like they'd set the pattern. Every Christmas number one, it was the X Factor winner.
Yeah,
and the UK stood up and went no. And they voted Rage Against the Machine. And like they were going on all the radio stations, and obviously there's that like the final chorus of the final bit of that song, and the radios were like, almost like to reassure the audience, like before they play the song, they'd have like the singer come on and say, now you're not gonna play after a certain point, are you? And he'd go like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
And then they fucking did.
And then they would.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, they called Rage Against the Machine. It just showed like the I'm not saying it's big and clever to do it, don't get me wrong. It's like, yeah, go on the radio and swear. But it's a band called Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, what do you expect?
What do you expect, you know? Imagine if they had censored themselves.
One of their music videos is them getting arrested. For real.
Yeah,
like
for
actually
real,
getting arrested.
Yeah, because they beat Joe McElderry, didn't they?
I think it was Joe. Was it him or Alexandra Burke?
I think he was Joe McElderry.
Okay.
And I hated Joe McElderry.
Right.
And the fact I remember his name is proof of that. Because where's he? But yeah, the thing I remember about that weird tangent about the Rage, the Killing in the Name of number one thing, is the next Now That's What I Call Music album came out, the Christmas kind of version.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on there. I know, like, it wouldn't fit in with any of the music. But I was thinking, well, be consistent.
Yeah.
It's either what was genuinely, like, the charts, because that's what that's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's the chart. Yeah, the number one's in the chart. Yeah.
Or it's charts that's also kind of poppy music. No, you can't do that.
No.
Just put it on there. Who cares? Like, the people who don't want to listen to it aren't going to listen to it.
Yeah.
But be consistent. But yeah, what else did we do for New Year? We did the quiz.
We did
drank
a
little bit.
Yeah, drank a little bit, and then
we watched the film.
You made us watch.
I didn't make you watch.
You made us watch. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. That was our New Year entertainment.
Yeah.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Why?
We wanted to watch a bad film.
We did.
So Adam Sandler sprang to mind.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing that film when I was a kid, and knew obviously it's about two best friends that get married for financial reasons, basically. They're straight.
Yeah.
And they have to plan to be gay. And just that, like in the age in which we now live, I thought, I wonder how that lands now in the current context.
Especially when you've got someone who is as, like, odious as Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, like, because this film came out when the people were a bit more relaxed about these type of topics.
Yeah, there was still you didn't get cancelled for making
Yeah, exactly. There were still people who spoke out against it, but you could make a film like that. But it's Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, this is going to be dreadful, or it's going to be like, God, even Adam Sandler was like, got it right. He didn't.
Yeah. No, he didn't. It's a terrible film. It's a terrible film. But yeah, we watched that, and then when it approached midnight, like a minute or two away, I paused the film, and then we stood up to Auld Lang Syne, and we all saluted.
you know, like that kind of moment you have with your friends where you all realise, like, a bit is happening.
We're doing this now.
We're committing to this bit.
Yeah.
Like, no pre-planning or anything. It's just like,
no.
You're in the moment, like, right, we're all standing up now. Okay, we're all saluting.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all looking at Rob Schneider's Asian face and saluting it to the tune of Auld Lang Syne.
Because we were staring at the TV, obviously. Because it was playing on the Alexa, which is right in front of the TV.
Yeah.
So we're kind of saluting. I don't think saluting the new year in. I think we were saluting like
it just felt like a particularly patriotic version of Old Lang Syne.
Kind of. It wasn't that for me. It was sort of like when the Titanic, when the captain goes down with a sinking ship.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's like that 2021. You're going down.
Oh, we were saluting
with the ship.
2021 off rather than 2022.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, we were going down with the ship.
No, I was saluting Rob Schneider's Asian face.
Oh, you were actually saluting it?
Well, that's what it must have looked like, right? If someone
had walked into the room and just seen what we were doing.
Because we'd ordered food, and thankfully it showed up before midnight.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he'd, like, knocked on the door and, like, come in to deliver the food at midnight, he would have just seen us crowded
3 grown men looking at Rob Schneider in Asian face, pulling a funny face.
Yeah.
Saluting it.
To the tune of Old Lang Syne.
Just standing there. Yeah.
And, was the version that you played an extended version? Or did it just last it felt like we were there for like 10 minutes, just saluting.
No, it was just the full... I think most people, it's just the one... It's just that bit that they play.
Yeah.
We just listen to the song. It's not a long version.
Okay.
It's only 4 minutes or so.
Right.
It's every verse and with the chorus and everything, you know.
It was still long enough for us to just be like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it was ridiculous, yeah. We were in hysterics, to be fair.
Yeah.
I haven't laughed that much. Your face just disappears into itself.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's how we saw in 2022.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's a harbinger in some way for the things to
the
come.
sign of things to come. Yeah, well, I guess that remains to be seen.
The question now is, do we do a coming up here?
What, 50 minutes in?
Exactly. I guess I just have to do it at the beginning.
Yeah, it's one of those episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
You probably figured it out by now, audience, but if the coming up is like the first thing you hear,
yes,
this is why. It's because we didn't plan and we ended up talking for 50 minutes and we're like, right, well, we can't do it coming up now.
Yeah. That happens too often, I think.
It does. Yeah, it's certainly become a pattern.
Oh, here we go.
No, you can have a pattern.
I know.
You can have a pattern.
I know you can.
Okay. I'm just making sure you
But whenever you say it, I do think, oh.
Yeah, well, that's you.
I think everyone else as well. Everyone who listens.
Well, they shouldn't. Because what have I, other than like the big ones?
The moon.
The moon. What was my thing with the moon?
That's getting bigger.
Well, it is.
It's not.
That's not a pattern, though. The moon getting bigger is not a pattern.
Okay,
because it's one thing.
Yes, fine.
It's one event that is definitely happening, and you're all ignoring it. But anyway,
okay.
You got the moon, you got the chocolate orange.
Yeah.
What else have you got?
I feel like you bring it up a lot. Or you try to identify patterns where there aren't any.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you do. Should we do a film review?
Oh, you just trying to steer me off course, are you?
Yeah, and try and fucking get on with it.
Oh, just to wrap up Sonic, like the only other thing coming out this year is a new game.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's it. So
okay.
The film, TV show, the game. One of each.
Okay. Will they all be terrible?
Well, the film remains to be seen.
Yeah, you're open-minded about that.
The show, I genuinely don't know. Who's writing it? I think it's like the people who did Ben 10. I never watched Ben 10.
I have no clue.
So I don't know if it's going to be any good. And the game is like, it seems to be a break from the norm, which can go either way. It can either be like, oh, they've like gone in a new direction and it's worked, or it's like, right, they should have stuck to what they know.
Yeah.
But they're doing an open world Sonic.
Okay.
Which is like a lot bigger than anything they've done before. So yeah,
that'll be interesting.
It could really go either way. The thing is, though, they seem to have taken inspiration. I know this is not going to mean much to you. I'll try and like explain it as I go. They've taken inspiration from The Legend of Zelda,
right? Specifically
from Breath of the Wild, which is like a game that came out in 2017, an open world Zelda.
Okay.
Which again was like, oh, they've never done this before, and it was like a very melancholic, relaxed experience compared to like previous Zelda games, because it was just you alone in this massive open world, and like the gimmick was that you could explore and you could level up and you can like gain experience and equipment and you can go to the dungeons and you can acquire companions that will help you in the final fight, or as soon as you leave the tutorial you can just go fight the final boss.
Right.
And if you're good enough you can beat the game straight away.
Okay.
It's one of those like open-ended, you make your own experience kind of things. And they have like a far more relaxed, again, kind of melancholic tone to... It's like when, you played Shadow of the Colossus, haven't you?
Yeah.
So those kind of moments where you're just sort of like on the horse going to the next Colossi. It's that kind of tone.
Red Dead 2. I mean, that's...
Red Dead as well. Red Dead's a perfect facsimile.
Yeah. One of my favourite things about video games is that element. Where, like, I know it sounds almost pathetic, but that loneliness... I like that element of games where it is just you in this open universe, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
And it did very, very well. I think it won Game of the Year, Breath of the Wild, when it came out. So a lot of like franchises are trying to do that kind of open world now, and it seems like Sonic is doing that. He's doing like a Breath of the Wild style, to the point where like Amy, where it seems like now she's like basically the second lead.
Okay.
So it's like, right, they're even doing like a Zelda facsimile.
Well,
I tonally.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine much of a tonal crossover.
Yeah, it's going to be weird having like a contemplative, melancholic Sonic game
as he zooms.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like we've seen very little of it. I've no idea how it's going to turn out. I'm encouraged by the fact that they are like they're going in a new direction, and like everything we know, every piece of like marketing that's been released about this thing, they've said we're taking our time. We've learned our lesson. So I don't know.
Question.
Yeah.
Dwight, question. I can imagine that the thought of it is poison to developers, because it's like, are you just thinking too outside the box? But you know, like in TV shows that are about brothers, it always ends up they're not brothers.
Yes.
Toward the end.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a Sonic game? I imagine they've probably done levels or something where he loses his powers, and so there's no fast Sonic action.
Ish. I mean, there have been games where he's like slow.
Right.
Not necessarily like part of the story, just like the game isn't very good, so he's like a lot slower as a result. I think there was one game, but it was a spin-off. It was called Sonic Labyrinth. That came out like one of the 8-bit consoles, so like, you know, it was in the 90s. And it's like a little puzzle game where he's like wandering around like a thing. Okay. And I think in the manual it says that like Eggman secretly swapped his shoes. So now he's got shoes that make him slow.
Okay.
To sort of explain why they couldn't have a fast Sonic in a puzzle game.
Yeah.
So, like, if you count that, then yes. But not really.
Not really. Okay. Should we do our film review?
Okay, yeah. I think we're done with all of the preamble.
All that stuff.
What are we going to talk about first?
I can't imagine it being a long review, but should we do Being the Ricardos?
Yeah, okay. So this is one of the things we cut.
It is.
From the 4-hour Christmas special.
Yes. Well, yeah, before recording it.
Yeah, before recording. Yeah. We didn't like, this isn't like our second go around, and we're not splicing an audio.
No.
This is like...
we didn't bother talking about it because we knew how fucking long it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The episode.
The episode, not the review. Not the review.
Yeah, not much confidence in the review, if I'm honest.
What do you mean?
Like this review. I'm worried that it's going to be... I suppose there's nothing to worry about, that it's going to be like quite pithy.
No, that's what we should be aiming for.
Be aiming for that.
Yeah.
But it's like out of character.
It is. Maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be the it of 2022. We put in workable, listenable episodes.
Yeah. Our like content becomes manageable to a listener.
Not longer than Lord of the Rings every single time.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, let's do Being the Ricardos.
Okay. What is Being the Ricardos?
Being the Ricardos is a film written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. I think it's an Amazon film. It is. It's an Amazon film. And it is about the behind the scenes of I Love Lucy. Mm-hmm. I think in the second season, maybe. It's fairly early on.
Yeah, like at the height of the show's popularity.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing on television. Cultural icon. Lucille Ball and her husband... What's his real name?
Demi something?
Desi Arnaz.
Desi Arnaz.
Yeah. And he plays Ricky Ricardo in the show, her husband. It's a 50s sitcom, you know, it's the honeymooners, it's that kind of vibe. Not funny to us, basically.
Well, where have you been?
Yeah, so over the top. Yeah. Kind of what WandaVision was doing in its first couple of episodes.
Okay.
And it's about the behind the scenes of the show, because she's accused of being a communist, and how that's affecting the show, and her marriage with Desi, because he's accused of having an affair, and it's a week in the life of that marriage and that show.
Yeah, it's like surprisingly rigidly structured.
Yeah,
because there seem to be there's 3 prongs, right? I think there's 3. We'll see now. See if I'm correct.
Of the narrative, you mean?
Yeah,
right.
So you have. As you say, it's set over the week of production. So from the Monday table read to the Friday shoot.
Yes.
You start with... you start with the 3 writers? Or just people who worked on the show?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a writer.
Oh, it's a writer, a producer, and yeah.
Are they actors or are they the real people?
They're actors.
They're actors, okay. So they're actors being interviewed as though they were the real people.
Do you know what? Let me just qualify that. I don't know that they're actors, but one of them I know is an actor, and I've seen her in loads of things.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, and the way they talked, it felt like scripted interview. Like, they weren't really just talking about the...
Yeah, well, they've got that Aaron Sorkin briskness about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you wouldn't really have if you were doing, like, just talk to me.
Yeah, so I assume that they're actors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have actors playing, like, older versions, like present-day versions of a couple of characters from the show.
Yeah.
Where they're sort of giving you a bit of context about...
The behind the scenes.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. So, like, the film opens with them being interviewed, and it says that, like, a popular TV show nowadays draws, what, like 10 million views?
Mm-hmm.
I Love Lucy, at the height of its popularity, 60 million views.
Yeah.
So it's like giving you context so you're not entirely lost.
Yeah.
Then it will show you the events that occurred on that day. So, like, the Monday table read, the Tuesday dress, like, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll sort of go back to the actors briefly, the, like, older people, talking about what Lucy and Desi were like when they met, and then what their careers were like before I Love Lucy. And then we sort of go back in flashbacks and see that.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a lot, but it's like every section of the film follows this formula exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems to have... He does that now.
Yeah.
That's where he juggles time, and which is good.
Yeah, it is. And I wonder if it's just a way for him to kind of, like...
Well, it's the way to do everything. It's the way to be comprehensive.
Yeah, just so the audience understand what's going on, and just him to, like, consolidate everything that, like, you know...
And you do need
from
some
that
context.
era.
Yeah, like, we both heard of I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
I, like, know Lucille Ball, Redhead. I know, like, all that kind of stuff.
I went to film school, so they, like, I did a comedy module, so it obviously, like, was brought up, and
Yeah.
I saw episodes, and I was told it was funny, and I was lied to.
Yeah, it's not funny now.
No.
But that's the thing, I hadn't seen anything of the show. I've never seen an episode of I Love Lucy, you know, because I knew what to expect. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't have any context for the show itself. I went in, this essentially being my first exposure to it. Yeah, and so it is good to have that, like I said, that comprehensive history of everything. And of course I knew that the disparity, and now the show at its peak will get 10, and then, you know, proper water cooler television where, like, a sizable chunk of the country is watching it. Yeah, so what do we think of the film? It's competent. Back to that word. It's competently mounted.
It is most certainly those things.
It looks... I'm not saying it looks good, it's not one of those things, but it looks kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Sorkin, he's found... like a perfectly serviceable style, hasn't he?
Yeah, this does feel a bit like a script that was in a drawer. Like, oh, I'll make that. It feels like Seven Psychopaths.
Okay.
It's like, oh, do you want to make another film? Yeah, I've got this script.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a cool down film almost. I'm not saying it was easy or anything like that, but the fact that Chicago 7 was 2020.
Oh, it's certainly a step down from Chicago 7.
Definitely a step down, which was obviously in the works for years and years and years.
Yeah.
The first I heard about this was there's a film coming out with Nicole Kidman, Javier Bardem, Aaron Sorkin's writing and directing it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chicago 7 was on the boil for years. And so, it does feel like that. It does feel like, oh, he's proven himself as a director now. And I think I said before we saw this, if he gets to make a film every year, that's fine with me. I get an Aaron Sorkin film a year.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking maybe every 2 years.
Give it a minute.
A bit of time to polish the scripts. And that's not to say the script isn't good. It's a perfectly decent script.
No, it's one of those scripts, sort of the opposite, really. In a way, maybe we should have talked about it last episode, because the French Dispatch is a good, like, counterpoint to it. In the way that, like, that's a very fun script and there's a lot to enjoy about it, but it's deeply flawed on a structural level.
Yeah.
This is sort of the inverse, where it's like structurally it's watertight.
Yeah.
There's a lot that the film introduces and a lot that the film shows you that all, like, matters or gets paid off.
Yeah.
I think you made the point with French Dispatch that it was sort of Wes Anderson junk food.
Yeah.
And I feel very much the same about this with Aaron Sorkin.
Agree.
It's like, it's by no means one of his best films.
No.
But if you're in the mood for Aaron Sorkin, this is perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, it's not much substance, and that's the thing, it's put together really well. It zips along. It's well written, well structured, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't feel vital.
No, absolutely
You don't
not.
need it in your life. It's kind of disposable in that way.
Yeah.
It's just some Sorkin fun, you know? I think Eddie, we can name him by name because he's of this parish.
Yeah.
He said that he just didn't give a shit.
Right.
I wouldn't go that far for myself, but I can understand where he's coming from. Like, yeah, but the story's not that, like, significant. It's a hyper-rarefied biopic. It's not like the Trial of Chicago 7, which has all these implications, and not to say that being the Ricardos doesn't have larger themes, but it's very specific. Yeah, it's Sorkin. It's not quite pure Sorkin in that The French Dispatch is pure Anderson.
Yeah.
But it is Sorkin doing what he wants nonetheless. That's what it feels like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's not like he's beholden to a director, obviously, because he is the director. Yeah, it's a solid script. I think going in blind was beneficial because a lot of people have criticised Nicole Kidman's performance for being weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how close she is to the real woman, but I didn't quite get that. It's a bit weird because Nicole Kidman is trying to look young still, and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it to be a weird performance.
Obviously, when they recreate scenes from I Love Lucy, she's very much trying to act in that fashion that you would act. So very over the top, very hyperbolic. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I do wonder if she's trying to emulate the real life Lucille Ball, or whether she's putting her own spin on it, because it doesn't feel like a natural performance.
No, that's true. But that said, that show and those performances weren't exactly naturalistic.
No, that's the thing. Like when you're seeing the show, like it completely makes sense, and it's like it's not something I enjoy. It's not a type of acting I enjoy, but I like at least like she's capturing that very well. And when she does the radio show and she's doing all of the movements to the crowds, that feels very like that feels appropriate for what she's doing. But then when she's just being a person, it feels slightly unnatural.
I get that. I think one of the problems there is that Sorkin doesn't write naturalistic dialogue.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but he kind of does. I know what you mean as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not how people talk to each other. It's not realistic in that sense. It's a Sorkin script. It has its own rhythms and its own presentation. But when they meet for the first time, she still has a monumental quality, even though she's not in the show, and it's just her.
At that point in her life, she's a nobody. Yeah, really. Like she's past her prime, you know.
Yeah, but those scenes are still written as fairly romanticized versions of history, as though like the people involved knew it was going to be an important event. I know a lot of biopics do that, but it's kind of a bugbear of mine. I don't like that in biopic. I don't like it when the actor is just doing an impression and they look like the person, and there's a bit of that. But part of that is the way Sorkin writes. He doesn't write normal people talking to each other.
No, and that's absolutely fair enough. But the thing is, I buy Javier Bardem.
He's fab.
Far more than I buy Nicole Kidman. And they're doing it's the exact same thing for both of them.
I think part of that is purely that his face isn't contorted with
50s
plastic surgery.
Oh, and plastic surgery, yeah.
Well, it is different for a man and a woman, in that sense. Well, I say that. No, if they both age normally, then it's fine. But he's going to look like that for a little while. He's a Spanish man.
Yeah.
He's a handsome Spanish man. He's not gonna need plastic surgery. So I'm not saying Nicole Kidman does. I'm not down with that at all. But yeah, it's because he's just himself. There's no restrictions on his facial movements, for one. Yeah, he's the best thing about the film, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. And there's just a plausibility to it. Even like I said, even though they're both subject to Aaron Sorkin's writing.
Yeah.
And they're both they exist in the same era in roughly the same context. I know there's like obviously he's Cuban and like that comes into play a lot. Like the traumatic history that he's had boils up to the surface a couple of times.
Yeah, that was good. That was one of the rare moments of emotional where it hit emotionally at the end.
When he's screaming at her about communism.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah, because she's technically a communist.
Yeah, like 30 years ago, or however long it was, she ticked a box saying that she identified as a member of the Communist Party in like memory of her grandfather.
Yeah, who was a lifelong supporter of the party. Now, we watched the film a little while ago.
Yeah.
Am I incorrect in thinking that the film is ambivalent about whether she genuinely has those convictions? Like she might actually believe some of it? Do you know what I mean?
I don't feel like the film, again, a while since I've seen it. And it's not the type of film I think either of us are planning to rewatch anytime soon anyway.
No.
But I don't think the film really suggested enough either way for me to think that.
No, fair. It's only because the fact that he explodes in that way would imply that he knows it's not just putting her name on a bit of paper.
Yeah.
Or the fact that she did that is enough.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even go near it. Like, it's just, you don't... But yeah, no, that was a great moment. Yeah, the thing I like about... With villains, usually, right, who are European or something, Americans, they just do a European sort of Russian accent. They kind of...
That was your Rami Malek impression, then.
Well, yeah, that
exactly the same thing you did for Rami Malek. When we were doing
that's what you was fucking doing.
Yeah.
Pan-European, pan-Asian, pan-whatever. And... Pants. And I like that Javier Bardem is doing an accent.
Yeah.
It's not like they were content to go, oh, it's Hispanic, it's Latino, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, he's doing an accent. Like, in fact, in Collateral, he has a cameo in that film. I don't know if you remember.
Not really.
He's a Cuban crime lord, and he's doing a Cuban accent in that.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I'm glad that he's actually... The nuances of the differences between the accents. It's not just a Spanish-esque accent, you know.
Oh, we hired a Spanish guy, that's all we need.
Yeah, like, no, he did a thing.
He committed to it, yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's great. I'm not quite understanding the J.K. Simmons love in the awards.
See, this is the thing you told me. Like, this is all I knew going into the film, is that she's weird, apparently.
Yeah.
And J.K. Simmons is great. Or at the very least, he's like the best, he's the standout thing about it. No, Javier Bardem is the standout thing about it. J.K. Simmons, like... I don't even know if he's in it enough, really, to be considered a standout.
And he doesn't really do anything. He's not like... When I say he's just J.K. Simmons, I don't mean he's J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
But he is just J.K. Simmons, really. He's just a guy in a film. It's just...
Yeah, no, I think after Whiplash, he's sort of fallen into that kind of...
Yeah, that's what you were...
The Michael Keaton thing, where he's like, he's just J.K. Simmons. And, like, that's working for now.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing J.K. Simmons in things.
Yes.
But, yeah, it doesn't feel like he's really pushing himself to do anything at the moment.
I'm really surprised. I don't know where the nominations are coming from. Because Nicole Kidman's been reasonably nominated. She's playing an iconic figure. That's all that comes down to. And him. Those are the two nominations the film seems to be getting.
Bardem.
Not Bardem.
Has it been like a particularly strong year for male performances and he's just unlucky?
Not personally. I mean, I would nominate him. I think it's just... He's overlooked because it's Lucille Ball. Like, is he supporting actor? Is he lead actor? He's lead actor.
But even so, would it be considered a favoritism for us to nominate Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem in their respective categories?
I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, he's the one that deserves... He's up for a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
But he deserves more.
Is J.K. Simmons just like... Oh, I guess he's like the... We had to pick a supporting actor, and I guess it's him.
But there are so many films to choose from. It's not like Being the Ricardos is one of the 10 films that get all the nominations. It's not in that camp. It's a film with those two things are being rewarded, and a couple of screenplay nods.
Yeah.
It's not like, I don't know, Belfast or The Power of the Dog, where, everything. Everything in those films get nominated. No, it's not one of those. They are highlighting those elements from it, which is really strange. Yeah, no, he's been done a disservice, I think.
Yeah. And it's fine, innit? Like, it's kind of like the film. It's like, I don't want people coming out of this to think that it's, like, bad. It's not a bad performance. He's not bad in it. It's just not as good as people seem to think.
It's just a fine... I guess maybe the only thing I can think of is, well, A, it's J.K. Simmons, and he's won an award, and they like, repeat nominees. And that he's kind of a crotchety... Is he a writer?
No, he's an actor.
Oh, of course he is, sorry. Fucking dumb moment. yeah, he's an actor, and he's crotchety, and he's always like kind of sarcastic and quipping and all that. And then he has a moment where he sits down with her for a drink, and he's very sincere. He's like, you love each other, blah, blah. That's the only thing I can think of, is that there's that little turn.
Yeah. But, and like at the beginning of the film, he's like, oh, if that kid was communist, I'd punch his lights out.
Right.
And then he doesn't have that attitude towards Lucille Ball, even though it's like she might be. We don't know yet. So
it's just
like, so it's like, oh, he goes on a little journey, that character.
Just weird.
Yeah.
I was worried, that it would be too meandering. But yeah, it's it has very clear structure, clear arcs. It resolves all those arcs.
Yeah. It's all wrapped up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One and done.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Ultimately, it's fairly disposable.
Yeah.
I think that's everything to say about it, really.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not a Spider-Man No Way Home where it's like, and another thing.
No, God, no.
It's
fine.
just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Another Sorkin film. That's not a bad thing, but there are other Sorkin films
That are much better. Yeah. Should we do another film review?
Another one?
Yeah. 2 in a row.
Are we spoiling them?
Either that or we're starved for content.
It is the beginning of the year, you know?
It is. God, this one might be under 2 hours.
Don't go saying things like that.
No, I know. It'd probably be just over, I would have thought. But not 3, yeah? Okay.
I could make no promises.
Somehow, inevitably, it will be, won't it? Okay, let's review Boiling Point.
Okay.
You've seen Boiling Point?
First film of 2022.
Yes, for you.
Are you trying to establish a pattern, Sam?
Okay, so I told you to watch this film for us to review.
Yes.
We haven't talked about it.
No.
Since you've seen it.
No.
So, is this like an I care a lot situation?
Well, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I opened our I Care a Lot review by saying this is the first film I saw of 2021 and it might be a contender for best film of the year.
Okay.
I've got very much the same opinion about Boiling Point.
I'm very glad. I thought you'd really like it.
It's a good film.
It's a very good film.
It's a good film.
Yeah, it's incredibly good. It's incredibly good.
Is that all we say? Like,
I mean, it's like, harder to talk about things that are good, isn't it?
It's not just that, but it's one of those instances where this is not like a spoilery film in the sense that, like, obviously, like, stuff that happens towards the end, you don't want to give it away.
No.
But the film is an experience, and to talk about it is almost to ruin or at least calibrate someone's expectations of the experience before they experience it.
Yes. Okay, well, let's premise it briefly.
Okay.
So it is about a London restaurant.
Yeah.
On the busiest night of the year.
Black Friday, yeah.
Black Friday.
British Black Friday.
British Black Friday. Yeah, it's a British film.
Yeah.
And the kitchen
Which, just
staff,
in case, because I don't know if we get an international audience at all. Because this is the thing we talk about a lot as well, is like us taking things from America. It's like, oh, we got 2 Black Fridays now.
Yeah.
Because the American Black Friday is the one with all the deals, all the bargains. Our Black Friday is the last drinking day before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like the last Friday night or last Saturday night before. No, last Friday night, Black Friday.
Yeah.
It's the last Friday night before Christmas. Everybody goes out for a drink.
Right.
It's immensely busy everywhere.
Yes.
The film takes place on Black Friday.
Yeah. And it's about the kitchen staff and the waiting staff that work at this restaurant just dealing with it.
Yeah. The thing that sort of kicks off the film is they have a food health inspector there.
Yeah.
And he kicks them down from a 5-star to a 3-star.
Yes.
So tensions were already frayed.
Yes.
And whatnot. But now that they've been kicked down to a 3, everyone's a bit like, oh, okay, this is not a great start.
Yeah, Boiling Point is a very apt title.
Yeah, it's sort of the perfect... It's almost like you come up with the title, then you come up with the film. Because it's such a perfect title.
Yeah. And it transcends its punniness.
Yeah, it really does.
Boiling Point.
Yeah, because you see a film, it's Boiling Point set in a kitchen. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
obvious.
no.
Yeah.
No.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Graham plays the head chef.
Yeah. So it's already, invested at this point.
Yes, because it's Stephen Graham.
Do Americans know Stephen Graham? I suppose Boardwalk Empire, right?
And he's in Scorsese films now, isn't he? He was in The Irishman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but mainly British actor, yeah. Well, he's good, isn't he?
There's nothing else to say about it.
Well, let's try.
It's nice to see him native. It's been a while since I've seen him native, because he's Liverpudlian.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've seen him as a Liverpudlian.
He's such a fantastic, naturalistic actor. He's one of the best, I think. And because he's using his native tongue, it just seems so real. I don't... I should point out, this is a one-shot film.
I was building up to that, but this is the big selling point.
Yeah.
This is a one-take film.
Yeah.
Not a faux one-take film.
No.
Not like a...
trick photography.
What's it called? Episode 6 of Hill House.
2 Storms.
Yeah, it's not a 2 Storms.
Or a Birdman.
Or a Birdman, where it's still very impressive, but they do cheat it.
Yeah.
This is uncheated.
Yes.
This is legitimately an hour and a half, one take.
Real time.
Which was filmed the day before we went into lockdown in 2020.
Oh, was it?
So it wasn't just like... You think they're up against it in the film. They were up against it in real life as well. They had that day to film it, and that was it.
Really appropriate title.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's... Obviously, I imagine that there are elements of the dialogue that are kind of improvised, little bits here and there.
Weirdly enough, I saw like an article on it like after I watched it, and they said that like they wrote a framework script, but a lot of the dialogue is improvised.
Okay,
but like when you were saying about Stephen Graham being naturalistic, I was immediately sold on like the tone of the film, like when he's on the phone, because it starts with him like walking to the restaurant while he's on the phone to someone, and then when he's like hanging up the phone, he goes, "All right, ta 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 ta."
Yes,
just like that very rapid. Like I was like, I'm immediately like. I trust this film already, and just in terms of like the performances.
The way, like, because he shouts at the staff.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, I didn't mean that, sorry. You know, it just seems very genuine.
Oh, yeah, he like proper like shouts at them, and then he's like trying to make it up to them.
But in a way that, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I know that guy. He's just, he's so good. He's such a good actor. And yeah, it doesn't feel improvised. It's not one of those like,
no.
Oh yeah, they were riff. No, it feels very scripted, little moments aside. I only saw one. I won't even call it a mistake.
Was it the beef?
Yes. Yeah. People stutter and they say the wrong thing. It's not like it detracted from the experience.
Yeah.
And given it's an hour and a half, and not just an hour and a half one shot film, which is impressive in and of itself, with a lot of moving parts.
They're cooking food. Like I think it's called Victoria, right? That's a one-take film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Victoria, but I remember seeing a review on Victoria. There was like a YouTube that I discovered him, and I was going through his back catalogue, and I saw his review on Victoria, and he said that like the thing that really damaged the film for him is there's a scene in Victoria where a character plays the piano,
right,
and they're clearly faking it.
Ah, right, okay.
It's like I understand that practically, like that's a big risk having a character play a musical instrument in the film. But that's what makes one-take films impressive.
Yeah, what's the point then?
Yeah, I know that we kind of, like, occasionally were critical of, like, films where it's like, it was impressive that they pulled this off. Like Lord of the Rings,
that's
right?
the thing. Yeah. I'm not impressed by, this is what Stephen Merchant says, I'm not impressed by good time management.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm generally not a fan of one, because it just draws attention to itself.
Yeah.
And you go, I mean, I didn't know going in it was a one-shot film.
Okay.
I think I realised maybe 10 minutes. Oh, it's the same shot. That's impressive. And then it just didn't stop.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those films where you're constantly going, oh, how impressive. You're so in the action.
Yeah.
And the relationships between the characters. It just feels like, well, yeah, that's how you would make this film. You'd make it in a one-shot way.
It's sort of like Birdman in the sense that I think the idea with Birdman was that it's to sort of show like how non-stop theatre is and just the franticness of theatre. And it's that's how you film this film, because this film is just like it's like hand on the tension dial, and it's just turning it
all up to 11.
all the way. Like it keeps going past 11. It's just still going.
Yeah. When we obviously won't say how it ends because we are hypocrites with spoilers. If we like the film, we won't tell you.
Yeah.
What happens at the very end? I feel like that's what I wanted to do. And the film, not in the same way.
No.
Just in that, that motion. I feel like that's what I wanted to do.
And it was kind of nice. Like British films are often like more subtle fare anyway, right? Certainly than like American films. But you give someone the premise. It's like, it's a one-shot film set in a kitchen on the busiest night of the year, and everyone's on edge.
Yeah,
it's like like things are gonna end up on fire. And someone's going to get stabbed, and it's going to be it's not like there's no real like cathartic release at any point. It's just ratcheting tension for 90 minutes.
Yes. The biggest thing that happens is someone gets an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
There are no fireworks really.
And we're downplaying the like severity of that moment.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a big moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just about the relationships between the implied relationships more than anything else, which is one of my favourite things about it. Is they know each other. Yeah. And they have that relationship, and we don't get to see all of it because we're just glimpsing this life. But it activated some PTSD in me.
Well, I suppose this is something we should talk about as well, is that you are not a working man.
No.
But once you were a working man
at
one point, and you worked in a kitchen.
I did. I worked in a kitchen, and so I get it. I mean, it's different. It was a different type of... It was a Spoon's kitchen.
Yeah, it wasn't a 5-star.
It wasn't a 5-star. So that pressure... I mean, it's about as busy, if not busier. I mean, like in a Spoon's kitchen, you're not really cooking. You're just putting it in microwaves. But at its busiest, you've got about 50 orders to fill. So
and 10 minutes each to fill them in.
Yeah, kitchens are insane.
Yeah.
And I'll never do it ever again. But it was little things, like not just the experience of that, but maybe this is too personal, I don't know. But there's a character in the film, he's the son of the woman who makes the desserts.
Oh, it's his son. Oh, it's her son, is it?
I didn't know, but that's the vibe I got.
Okay.
Maybe not.
There was certainly, like, her reaction was very maternal, but I don't know whether that was just a factor of the fact that they work in that environment.
I could have been reading that into it, but it's the fact that it's almost like she got him the job there, working with her. And, like, she says, we're going to talk about this later, okay?
Yeah.
So I just picked that up. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
There's just a little moment.
But the film accommodates for it, which is a good, like a sign of the good script, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Could be right, could be wrong. There's a moment where he keeps pulling his sleeves down, even though he should have them up for what he's doing. And then at one point she's like, put your sleeves up, and she rolls them up for him, and she sees that he's been self-harming, cutting his arm. When I worked in the Spoon's kitchen, I was going through that, and I also had to keep pulling my sleeve down,
right, so
that people wouldn't see. So there's a little thing like that. I don't do it anymore. If the audience is concerned, I did it for like a month.
No, just like
in 2018,
bringing it up just to sort of commend the authenticity of the film.
Yeah, like it makes people do that. Yeah, I believe that they all work there.
Yeah,
I love the ecosystem of it. You know, like you move over to the waiters, and then you move back to the bar, and then you move to the kitchen.
And you're not necessarily always with the person you expect to be.
No.
I think there's a point where Stephen Graham, or maybe his, I assume, sous chef, Vivian something?
Vinette Robinson.
They start having an argument with somebody, and the camera kind of drifts off and goes and follows one of the waiters for a bit.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay. It makes the film feel more organic, that it's not like staying with the drama all the time. It does occasionally, like, oh, we're going to follow someone else now.
Yeah.
We're kind of I guess we're naturally drifting this way. Let's go over here.
Oh, the verisimilitude is strong with this one.
Yes.
Like the, not just the people who work there, the customers. Like, yeah. I know those people.
The probably, like, racist guy.
The guy who just, there's always an issue.
Yeah.
There's that British passive-aggressive thing.
The fucking influencers.
The influencers, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, because they don't have steak. Because like Stephen Graham, he's got a lot on, right?
Yes,
he's got a lot happening to him at the moment.
Yeah,
so he wasn't able to order in steak, and then they go over to the influencer. Bear in mind, this is like a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah,
where it's like one of those places you'd expect the menu to be like foie gras with a pognon tweet,
right?
One of those menus,
sure.
And they're like, oh, love, this ain't menuing for us. Can we just have steak and chips?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, sorry, we don't have it at the moment. And as she's like explaining it, one of the guys is like recording himself on his phone going, they don't have steak. He's pulling like stupid faces.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, they were odious.
Yeah.
They were horrible. Yeah, just the pettiness and the rudeness and the passive aggression that's so endemic to Britain.
Oh, fucking... Yeah, that health inspector.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'd been able to watch the film if he was in the whole thing.
It just rings true, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you look at me?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm fucking doing that. Yeah.
You don't wash your hands in that sink, but you knew that already, didn't you, love?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So genuine. It's so, yeah. And just like people complaining about nobody else being able to do their job.
Yeah.
The different departments butting heads. Like, no, it's the fucking waiting staff's problem. It's not our...
Yeah.
We didn't do it. Going off to cry. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Like, there's that... She's like the hostess, isn't she? She's the...
I get the impression that she's like... It's probably like her father's...
Yeah.
Either her father's business or like her father got her the gig and she's moved up the rankings because of that.
Yeah. Nepotism.
Yeah.
And nobody likes her.
No.
And then there's just a bit where Vinette Robinson has a tirade against her.
Yeah.
No one likes you, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes off to have a cry. Like, yeah.
Which is like, you know, in like another film, maybe... This would be like, oh, we're finally gonna see things from her perspective, because the film has sort of been like, I guess if you're with anyone, you're with Stephen Graham.
Yeah.
But like most people in the film don't come off well.
No.
And then like she goes to the toilet to have a cry, and it's like, right, well, this is like her moment where we're gonna feel sorry for her. And she comes out of the toilet, and she kind of like is sorting herself out, and like one of the young waitresses comes in, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And she just goes, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah.
As if like, fuck you
defensive.
For asking. Yeah.
Well, that's
it's like, oh no, it's like, no, they're not bending your opinion of this person. Like they're not trying to.
They do. I mean, a little bit because she phones it down. It's like I don't think I'm cut out.
A little bit, but
I'm supposed to be here.
It's not like.
No,
it's not trying to. Yeah, it's not,
yeah,
it's not like trying to. Like, well, this is the beat of the film, so this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's like no, it's like this is who the character is.
Yeah,
she is trying to be like.
And they do kind of resolve those little arcs, you know, like well, you know. Again, it's just a little. It's like the waitress and the barman that are clearly fucking. You know, the one that's a DJ. After he finishes, he goes to DJ. But yeah, no, like that. The hostess woman, like the resolution of that is she says, "Look, you've done really well today," to one of the waitresses, and then I think she says that maybe we'll have a drink after work. So okay, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah,
that's the kind of hinting at a resolution.
Or was that her way of like luring her in? And like the reason that she's calling her to have a drink is so that she can say like we're gonna let you go.
Yeah, maybe, you know, maybe you don't know. Doing coke, he goes off to do coke. Like yeah, when I worked in the kitchen, someone there did coke in the kitchen. You know, I think that's the thing with kitchen staff; they seem to do coke. I think that's a recurring
It seems
thing.
like you need something to keep you going, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, coke or self-harming in your case, or whatever. You need something to keep you going in the kitchen.
My overriding, and maybe because I worked in a kitchen, my overriding feeling was empathy. Just like, you see the stress, the fucking hell that they go through. And the end result of all of that is that you as a customer get your food relatively quickly. All of that just so someone can get some food quite quickly.
It's an open, like an open front as well.
Yeah, they see them making the food.
They can see them making the food. There is like a back kitchen, but it's like that's another layer, because at least with spoons you're protected by like...
Yeah, you're anonymous to an extent.
Yeah, but no, these people are like, they're there.
Yeah, like I just kept thinking, if I was in that restaurant, I would just go up and say, it's alright. Like, don't fret.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to eat here. It's like, I don't need... It's just,
I can wait.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I kept thinking. Like,
I would hug you, Stephen Graham, but you look like Stephen Graham.
Yeah, exactly. You might beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Which is, it's such an interesting thing for such a small man to command such fear and power, you know? Not that he's not going like this is England in this film, but it's there. It's kind of the unhinged thing is slightly there. Weirdly, I ended up thinking about Jordan Peterson when I was watching this film.
That is weird.
Because, you know, he talks about the fact that people go to work and the electricity is running and the water is running and the whole thing works, mostly, is a miracle.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking that, like, anything from buying something in a shop to, well, anything, it relies on an interconnected system of people doing their jobs. And I know that's obvious, but it's like he says, it's a miracle. The fact that you get your food in a restaurant and you see everything that has to go through to get to you. So God, this whole thing, society, it relies on people doing things they don't want to do to like a deadline that's impossible, upholding these impossible things. And I know it's just a restaurant, but that's what it made me think of, is like, don't worry, just don't bother, it's fine, like, it's not worth the stress.
Yeah.
But of course, if everyone thought that, there would be no electricity, there'd be no
of course
water.
not.
So that's my review of the film. I thought it was fantastic.
It also means that, like, the people who work in that restaurant, they get a break for once.
Yes, exactly.
So, you know, would you rather have happy people or no electricity?
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was... Masterpiece feels wrong, because it's not that kind of film.
It feels too early to declare that, but I wouldn't... Like, I could see that happening. I could see, like, enough time passing going, yeah, you know what, that was like a...
It's basically flawless.
Yeah.
It's incredibly engrossing and involving.
Because that's the nice thing about it as well, is that it's like an impressive feat. But it's not just that. It's also like a good film.
It's also a good film, yes.
Because like I pointed out, obviously, that they basically shot it over the course of a day, because that's all the time that they had. It's a real restaurant as well.
Yeah.
It's not a set. It's like an actual restaurant that they filmed in, which adds to like they couldn't like cheat it. They couldn't move walls. It's a real place they have to work around.
Yeah.
Characters moving inside and outside, so they're dealing with lighting changes. Like I said, there's food being prepared. So even though a lot of that is probably cheated, they do still have to work around fire and knives and actually prepare food.
Yeah.
Really, and detail that I kind of liked, and it's not really... I guess it's nothing really to do with the film. I just kind of liked that this is the case. they used the real name of the restaurant.
Oh, did they?
And I think Stephen Graham has the same name as the actual owner.
Oh, really?
And I kind of like that guy had so little ego. He didn't.
Yes.
It's not like, oh no, they'll all think I'm like a bastard who does coke. And no, he's like, yeah, do it. Use my restaurant. Use my name. I don't care. I guess if it's Stephen Graham, you would just be like, yeah, no, cool, it's fine.
Take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want the restaurant? You can have it.
Yeah, I'll just give it to you. Please don't hurt me.
It's based on a short film, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is the type of concept you'd want to test out first.
Definitely.
But yeah, I got nothing bad to say about it. I really don't.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
It's very, very good. Watch it.
Should we do our top 10 of 2021?
Oh, we really didn't have much to talk about, did we?
There's not much to say, is there? Because of the type of film it is.
Not just about that, just like over the course of the podcast. In general. Only 2 planned... Well, this is the third. 3 planned things.
This should set a trend, hopefully. We want to be kinder to the audience.
Yeah, we've still got 20 things to talk about, is the thing.
I wouldn't go that far.
No?
Probably like 15.
Okay.
Or 12. Yeah.
Or so 10. I don't know.
We're going to do our top 10 films and TV shows.
Yeah.
Together.
Yes. The if anyone's been following Funfiltered last year, we did this, but we had it was like everything.
We had podcasts in
podcast, games, YouTube videos, TV, film, all of it. All of entertainment.
Yeah.
But Sam has forced us to narrow the scope a little bit, for you are a narrow-minded egg. Sure.
Well, this is a film and TV podcast, isn't it? Amongst occasional other things.
Yeah, there's other things as well.
But it's not a gaming podcast, and it's not a podcast.
Number 10, the Derek Chauvin trial.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't really do that. I suppose you can't really do that. Yeah.
So we're gonna constrain it to film and television.
Not Derek Chauvin. Who's the one that he got off?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah. Number 10, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Was Derek Chauvin also last year? I think it was, wasn't it?
Oh Jesus. I don't actually know.
The trial.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe it was.
that wouldn't have gone in the top 10.
No, that would have trial. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's do it then.
Oh, well, let's set out the rules.
Okay, go on.
So the rules are like if we've talked about it already on the podcast, we'll talk about it a little bit here, but we won't do like a proper review.
No, these aren't full blown reviews.
Yeah, we'll sort of direct you to like, we talked about it here, and this is why it's on the list. A little bit more if it's something we haven't talked about, but that seems unlikely.
Yeah.
And also, if I have a thing on my list that Sam has much further up his list, we're going to wait until like the last time it appears.
Yes.
So then we might be skipping over a couple of things. So if it starts off very quick, don't be misled.
Also, another thing we should stipulate is there are things that might well have shown up in your list, but we judged these things differently. So films, I go by the UK release date.
Oh, yes.
And you don't. You go by the first international release date.
Yes, so there are things on your list that don't count.
No, there are things on my list that very much do. Okay, so...
You cheated, is what you did.
How do I cheat?
Because you were like, I'll take all the good stuff from last year and just put that in my list.
But Licorice Pizza...
Is Parasite number 1 again, Sam?
Licorice Pizza...
Is it a 2021 film now?
Licorice Pizza, which might be one of the best films of the year... counts as last year for you.
Was it?
Yeah, because it's a 2021 film.
Oh, okay. I thought it was released New Year Day.
For us, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's a 2022
film. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's now you still get all the same films, just in different years. Right. Number 10. What's your number 10, Jordan?
My number 10. It was a toss-up. My number 10.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was between 2 films. I guess this is sort of like an indication of what the year's been like.
Yeah, we don't love our lists.
So my number 10, it was a toss-up between Spider-Man No Way Home and...
Which we ripped for an hour and a half. And was like, yeah, it's fine, but what the fuck? Yeah.
That was almost my 10th best thing of the year.
Yeah.
But it was beaten narrowly, unfortunately, by Pig.
Yes.
Pig is my number 10. We talked about it in episode 52, where we did a review and then had a big argument.
Yeah. Genuine argument
about, what was it? Just like...
we
just weren't seeing eye to eye on something.
Yeah.
Or we misunderstood each other or something.
Miscommunication, I don't know, talking across purposes. It was a big one.
It was a big one. It was a proper fight. We were like...
it was a genuine argument.
Yeah.
I was genuinely annoyed with you.
Yeah, Pig. No, like, the thing that I remember liking most about Pig, it wasn't the type of film that I was expecting, which I think is true of a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
You see that trailer, you think it's going to be one thing, you see the film, oh, it's not that thing.
Yeah.
But I think I said, like, when you watch Pig, it knows exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the film's benefit, is that it's got a very, like, emotionally charged finale that I didn't see coming. Like, I was watching the film going, I don't really know where this is going. And then when it does happen, it's sort of like a great send-off to that film.
Right.
Both the finale and then kind of like the coda at the end with Alex Wolff and Nicolas Cage. Yeah, it's just like, it knows what it is and it's pretty good. You didn't love it, or you didn't...
I don't disagree really with anything you say. I just, it didn't rise above a certain level for me. It's like, yeah, it's fine. Good.
Yeah.
Well made. Like, nothing to complain about, really.
Well made. Very good performance from Nicolas Cage. Might be one of his last good performances, on all honesty.
Why do you think that?
Just because, like, it's a really... Like, everybody does the whole Nicolas Cage is back, baby, whenever he does something good, and there's always ages before the next one.
Okay, I mean, he's not in his 80s, though, is he?
No, he's not in his 80s. There will be other good Nicolas Cage performances, this is good, like, you know... This is the most recent one, and I don't know how long it's going to be before the next one.
Fair enough. Yeah, good couple of performances, solid script, good-looking film, nicely directed. But, yeah, it just didn't hit me. It didn't get me.
Yeah.
You know? But I liked it. I thought it was a good film.
And it was the 10th best of the year. Yes. It was like, all right, you didn't love it, but you know...
Okay, my number 10 is The French Dispatch.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about later.
We will.
Okay. What's your number 9?
This is the only thing that we haven't previously talked about on the podcast.
Okay.
I think we were going to, and it just, like, other things prevailed. I'm not entirely sure why. Number 9 for me is Rick and Morty Season 5.
Okay.
Like, fair play to them. I thought that, like, Rick and Morty had reached a point where it was just, it was what it was. It wasn't going to get any better. It was just going to be in a holding pattern from now until the end of time, which I think is how many episodes they've commissioned, basically, at 70, this point.
Yeah.
Far too many. And Rick and Morty, at its worst, is exactly the type of show that I hate. Like, obviously, the fan base around it, I think, is off-putting to a lot of people. It's kind of got this reputation of... it's the meme, right? You know, it's like... To be fair, you have to be a genius to understand Rick and Morty, or something like that.
Sure.
And it's, like, guilty of a lot of things that I don't like, you know, that kind of gag reflex humor where the joke is explained to you. Just, like, lazy improvisation. Just, like, a reliance on lazy... like, it's... Yeah, when it's at its worst, I really can't stand Rick and Morty. And I think I watched Season 4, and even its best episodes, I'm pretty sure the Vat of Acid episode was Season 4.
I think so.
The Vat of Acid episode, obviously, it's, like, set up as, like, a bottle episode where they are stuck in a vat of acid. And then after the opening credits, they get out of the vat of acid, and the episode's got nothing to do with the vat of acid, and yet they find a way to bring it back to that in the finale. It's like a good little piece of writing, but it was just, I watched it and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there's some really solid episodes in Rick and Morty Season 5.
Okay. See, I watched Rick and Morty Season 5, and I watch a lot of television, so there's that to consider. In my memory, it erodes my memory.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of them.
Okay.
And when you said, oh, it's reached just like a cruising thing, that to me was what this season was.
Okay. You slagging off my list, Sam?
I'm disagreeing with your opinion.
Well, stop it. It's my 9th bet. At some point, I've got to start defending this list.
Well, I can't argue with its placement.
No.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, I just remember watching, like, because when I first started watching Rick and Morty, one of the things that I found quite appealing about it is that it had, like, a continuity. It had a lore that it was continuing, and there were, like, things would happen, and it would honour those things, which is, like, unusual for a show like this. You just, like, not only does, like, adult entertainment in general, like, adult cartoons like Family Guy and God knows, you know, like, stuff like that, they rarely seem to respect their own continuity. They're basically just sitcoms.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, total reset now. Occasionally we'll do, like, a lore episode, but for the most part, it's just, like, don't have to worry about anything that's happened, we'll just do whatever. The fact that Rick and Morty was, like, respecting major things it did, like the fact, like, is it episode 7? Where they... let me finish what I'm saying!
Yeah, don't ask the question, I don't know.
I think it's episode 7 where they, like, they have to leave their own universe.
Okay.
And so, like, the entire show, from episode 7 onwards, this Rick and Morty are in a different like they're not in their own universe anymore.
Okay.
It's like an alternate universe that's like basically identical to their own, and the show is like stuck to that. It's like when in Doctor Who, like the original. Now we have to say the original Russell T Davies run.
Yes.
I think it's the 4th episode where the Doctor brings Rose back to the present day, but he's actually a year late. So the show, like, he picks her up in 2005, but he brings her back into 2006, mistaking it for present day. And for the rest of Russell T Davies' run, even when Rose is gone from the show, the present day is always a year ahead.
Oh, right, okay.
It respects its own little details like that, and that's really nice.
Okay, well, it's one thing that it's done.
Yeah.
Where it's actually respected that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, not so much anymore.
No.
But now that time's gone on with Rick and Morty, like I tend to enjoy the show more when it's sort of doing the Pickle Rick thing, where it's like,
sure,
here is just half an hour of just concentrated creativity and like anarchy, but it's well structured and there's actually something going on.
Yeah.
There's a story to this. The episode where the decoy families are being killed and all these like clones of Rick and Morty start killing each other to the point where you have no idea who the real Rick and Morty is.
Yeah. That's
a fun concept. The the Thanksgiving turkey episode where the president gets turned into a turkey.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. There's some really fun stuff. There's a couple of episodes which are like on par with like season 4 where it's like, all right, this just happened. And the episodes where they do continue the lore, the overarching story of Rick and Morty, ultimately feel rushed.
Okay.
There's like an Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind episode where Rick goes into his own mind. Or he goes into Birdman's mind. Right. Bird person's mind, whatever he's called. And it's sort of like explaining their history.
Yeah.
And it's like a character building episode, but it's like, because it can only exist in that episode, it's quite rushed.
Yeah.
And then when they bring back the Evil Morty storyline that they've kind of been hinting at throughout the season, that's contained to a single episode, and that ultimately feels like they could have spent more time on it. But no, when it's just those kind of like standalone, like, right, here's a mad idea, and we're just going to have fun with it.
I agree.
And there's a lot of them in season 5, which is why it's like why I've remembered it.
Okay, I'm sure like I could be reminded of some of the good stuff. I just kind of got the show's sort of done for me in a way. I still watch it.
Oh, it's certainly like the fact that there's so much of it left. It's like they can't even begin to think about ending Rick and Morty.
No, it's not just that. It's.
But I wonder if that's like. If that helped season 5 a bit. It's like, well, we know that we're going to be in a holding pattern for a while, so let's just start having fun with it again.
Well, I like Rick and Morty, but I don't love it. And I think it is an overhyped show.
Yeah.
And, I don't like its vibe a lot of the time. Like the thing you were talking about. The Dan Harmon thing.
Yeah.
It can be good and it can be bad.
Yeah, it's like, the moments where the show feels like it's encouraging that reputation of, you actually have to be smart to understand what's going
smug.
on. And smug, yeah. When it's smug, it can be really irritating.
But it is. There are solid things about it. Yeah, okay. That's your number 9.
That's my number 9.
My number 9 is season 4 of Search Party.
I don't know what this is. What the fuck are you on about, Sam? You're just making shit up now.
No, I will concede that it's been quite a weak year for television, in my opinion.
Okay.
Generally speaking. And this isn't the kind of thing that would usually make my list. It's not that it's not that good. It's good. But it's not kind of like top 10 of the year. I'm always slagging it off. But it is good. It's basically the show. It's a very obscure show.
Okay.
As a lot of TV is now, given the way that it works. The show basically starts with a group of friends and a girl that they went to school with disappears. And the main character takes it upon herself for no real reason to figure out where she's gone and opens up all these avenues of plot. At season 4, she's been kidnapped. The main character's been kidnapped and forced to play out this role in this guy's house. And all, like I said, there are 4 friends. They're all odious in different ways. And when you start the show, like, oh god, it's about those people. I'm supposed to like these characters. New York, like a blonde ditz. A very flamboyant gay guy.
Oh dear.
They're all like woke and but the show criticizes it as time goes on.
Okay.
And it kind of satirizes to some degree. It parodies it.
Okay.
And I really like that. But season 4 was just a really solid season.
Okay.
And I think the next is its last. And it's just improved and improved over time.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe give it a go.
Okay.
Give Search Party a go.
When you say that it comes to satirize the wokeness,
Yeah.
is that something where it felt like the show was on that trajectory, or is it kind of the showrunner wising up to?
No, I think it was kind of always there.
Okay.
But when it starts, you just go, oh god, I'm going to have to spend time with these characters.
Yeah.
But the show knows they're all terrible.
Okay.
And yeah, so yeah, Search Party Season 4. I'd recommend giving it a go.
Okay, all right then.
So what's your Season 8? What's your number 8?
What's my number 8
Yeah.
is Limbo.
We will have to reserve discussion of that
Let's do that
for a
then.
little bit. My number 8 is Another Round, which of course doesn't count for you.
No, because it didn't come out this last year.
It did for us, you see, because we live in the UK. So we always argue about this, don't we? Another Round, episode 49. We reviewed it.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So that for the fully fleshed out review, go there. Yeah, it holds up. You know,
Okay.
It's I've seen it a few times. I just really love the premise. It's a great central performance. It's very, really nicely directed and surprisingly heartwarming. I mean, I've heard like other interpretations, but for me, it's just like the ending, especially. It's just really uplifting.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. And to see a film about 4 friends in their middle age, and like when the experiment starts yielding results, you feel genuinely happy for them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And just a great concept, really, really brilliant script, soulful central performance, and yeah, it holds up. Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to talk too much about any of these things because we
No, of course, we've already
have
covered
reviewed
it.
them. But yeah, Another Round is my number 8.
Okay.
What's your number 7?
Okay. It's funny how I've ended up going first.
Why?
Because when we get to number 1, you're going to be like, you're going to go last. So it's like your number 1 is like the real number 1.
You have this weird paranoia about that. What if I had gone first?
Then
Could I have had the same complaint?
yeah, because my number 1 would be the.
But one of us has to go first.
Yeah, but why did it have to be me? Is my
Why
point.
why would it have to be me?
Well, why? No. I asked the question first.
Yeah, but if it wasn't you, then it would have been me.
Yeah.
Why would it have had to be me?
Well, I would have preferred that. See.
Well, I would have preferred this.
Yeah, but why did you have to get your
No,
way?
I see. That's the thing. I don't prefer it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I don't care. You always sneak in the last word of every episode. So do I complain about that?
I just do that because we've never planned. Like we
No. The last episode, you say goodbye, and then I say goodbye. No, sorry, because I cottoned on to this. That's what you were doing.
Right.
I say goodbye first.
Yeah.
Then you say it, and then I say something else, just as like another little goodbye, and then you say it yet again.
Okay.
Because you have to have the final word.
No, I'm just.
And that's fine.
I'm just fleshing out our outros because I'm aware that, like,
Oh, yeah.
we do an intro, we do the coming up, and they sometimes they go long, sometimes they don't. But our outros are always like 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, it is.
What's your number 7?
My number 7? My number 7 is Nobody.
Oh, okay. What episode? did we-
Nobody. Do the thing.
I know. That's what comes to mind every time.
No. Did you?
Okay, fine. Do it again.
My number 7 is Nobody. Nobody changed my mind.
And it leads me to a new disease. Okay. Yes, we reviewed this, didn't we?
We did review it. We reviewed it on episode 49, I believe.
Okay. The same episode as Another Round, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's like it's an action film, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a bad year, wasn't it? It was a bad year.
Look, people like them John Wick films. This be
Yeah.
one of them John Wick films, but it's a John Wick film where like at its worst it's on par with like John Wick, and at its best it rises above it.
Oh, I think it's better than John Wick.
Yeah, I think the finale, like that big fight at the end, and then the villain's death,
Yeah.
and also the bus sequence, the now famous bus sequence
Bus
at the
sequence,
beginning,
yeah.
are like can easily throw fists with John Wick and like the best John Wick fight.
Well, I think the
sequences.
thing that makes it rise above John Wick is just that it's a decent central performance, which John Wick does not have.
That's the thing as well. Like, I know he's like a slightly older. I guess that's part of the appeal.
Yeah.
Is that like
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
I do know who you are, Bob Odenkirk. I promise. Yeah, that he's like slightly older, and so it's kind of interesting because he's like, he's an older guy, and especially when they bring Christopher Lloyd in, like
with a shotgun,
with a shotgun, yeah, and just how like gleeful he is the moment that he gets back in the action.
Yes,
I feel happy for him. He's having so much fun, and I don't know if it's Christopher Lloyd or the actor, like Christopher Lloyd or the character, but I don't care.
Yes,
because I like seeing him have fun.
Okay.
It's got one of like because we watch stuff together, we watch stuff separately. Obviously, I think we both laugh less at films, especially like comedy stuff, when we're watching it on our own.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But this had like one of the like laugh out loud moments of the year for me.
Okay.
And that's when like he throws the chair at the guy in the hospital bed.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it lands, and it's like I don't know how they faked it. I'm convinced they didn't.
Right.
I'm convinced he just threw a chair at him. Because the way it lands is so perfect. I laughed and I wound it back immediately after it happened. So that's like a proper standout moment for me of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the choreography is really solid. That's the nice thing. They didn't phone it in.
Yeah.
It does, the performance, as you say, is really good. And it's it doesn't act above its station.
No, it knows what it is.
It knows what it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel insecure about that.
No.
And that's really nice.
Yeah.
But if you want to hear more about it, we talk about it in episode 49.
There you go. And this is something we talked about in episode 48.
Okay.
My number 7 is The Father.
Ah, right. Okay.
Which is also doesn't count for you.
Well, it didn't happen. It didn't happen last year. It didn't happen.
What to say about The Father?
I can't. I just realised, like, what, the nature, like, the subject matter of The Father. It's like,
it didn't happen.
Yeah, what film are you on about, Sam?
Yeah.
There is no film called The Father with Anthony Hopkins.
My imagination's pretty fucking great then, to be fair. Yeah, also holds up. Fantastic central performance. Fantastic supporting performances. The ensemble cast in general, really good. Incredibly sad. Directed in a very refined manner. The script is very clever. And the ending makes me sob.
Yes.
Still. That's what I'm going to say about it. I'm going to keep it very brief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a lot of... it treats its subject matter with respect.
It does, yeah.
Which is really nice. It doesn't feel the need to be overly gimmicky or push the concept too far. It knows how to keep it like no, we can't push it much further. Otherwise,
respectful. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's good.
Okay. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is the Sparks Brothers.
We'll have to reserve conversation.
Okay,
not very long, but we'll have to reserve conversation.
Okay.
My number 6 is Dune.
All right, I was half expecting you to go. My number 6 is the Sparks Brothers.
No.
Okay, Dune.
We talked about it on episode
55, I think. Yeah.
Yes, one of the best-looking films I've ever seen. It's Denis Villeneuve. It's obviously incredibly well directed. My favourite directed film of the year. My favourite direction, if you know what I mean. Everyone just fits their role perfectly. I know it's only the first part of a larger story. That's fine. But I will watch anything that man makes. And for someone who, he makes quite cold science fiction films, I was engaged and I found parts of it cool. And that says a lot for me because I don't find things cool.
Right.
I'm excited to see... I don't know anything about the story at all, so I'm really excited to see what part 2 brings us. But yeah, I really, really liked it. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, Dune is absent from my list.
Yeah.
But that's a big part of the discussion that we had on it, right, in 55, was that I don't disagree with anything that you're saying.
You just didn't feel it.
Yeah, it didn't click for me.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know. I don't know if it was me or the film. Because as I say, it is like an amazing looking film. It's incredibly well directed. I agree with everything you've said.
Yes.
But
you didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But I'm not that's not me discouraging anybody from watching it.
No. Yeah. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is The French Dispatch.
Okay, well let's talk about it then.
Let's do that.
What episode did we review it?
I think 56, the last one.
Okay. Yeah, it's very flawed, which is why it's my number 10.
Okay.
It's very. Oh, don't get me wrong. There are a lot more flawed films.
Yeah.
Not very flawed. It has flaws, but I don't really care about them.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Wes Anderson fan, and it's Wes Anderson junk food, and it's more junkier than being the Ricardos. It's pure sugar.
Oh yeah.
If you're a Wes Anderson fan.
Yeah.
We've talked about its structural, its issues, its narrative issues, and the fact that it doesn't really go anywhere. There's no real purpose to it in that way.
It's like, as time goes on, it's all the more disappointing that, because that script doesn't require major modification for it to have like a pretty solid premise.
No.
They've basically set it up. The film just doesn't recognize it or do anything with it.
Yeah.
And it is a shame that it like like nothing was done to address that. And as you say, I think it might have been better as a TV show.
As a TV show, yeah.
Or like a miniseries, just an isolated, rather than having to do the French Dispatch season 3 and 8. And
yeah.
No, it's like an isolated thing. But its strengths can't be denied.
No, it's a gorgeous film.
Yeah.
And it's well written. It's very well written.
And
just
it's an
not
enjoyable
structurally.
watch as well.
And it's enjoyable.
That can't be understated. I mean, like, again, if you don't like Wes Anderson, this will not change your mind.
Absolutely not. It'll make you hate him if you don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's funny as well.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. Everyone does the pitch perfect Wes Anderson performance thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a shame about, I don't want to call it disposable, but it ends up being a little bit disposable because there's no overarching, or not a strong overarching thing. It does feel episodic.
No, yeah, it does sink into his filmography a bit.
Yeah, and vignette-y, It won't be considered one of the greats. But it's very Wes Anderson, and he's good at what he does.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
Despite everything, I like it a lot.
Yes. My number 5 is the Sparks Brothers.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
Yes.
Cleaning house, are we?
Yes.
At number 5.
What episode did we talk about it on?
We talk about it on episode 51, I believe.
51. Okay,
Yeah.
So go there for the required reading. It was the best Edgar Wright film of the year.
If nothing else, it has that to its name.
Yeah, no, it's a film that looks like it was made by someone who only makes documentaries and has become very good at it. It was fun, superbly edited, extensive, everything's in there.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's the definitive item on
Sparks.
the Mail Brothers.
Yes, the Mail Brothers.
I did it.
You did it. Finally.
We've paid that off at the final hurdle. I got it right. It's not the Sparks Brothers.
I don't think, obviously they're kind of cult figures and they have a lot of famous fans. But I don't think many people know about them. And so I didn't.
No.
So going into it was really nice to be opened up to that world. And yeah, what can I say? It's just a very niftily made documentary.
Yeah, it does a really good job at like deconstructing them, but not like destroying them.
No.
Like that enigmatic, strange quality that they have is not lessened by their presence in the documentary and the documentary just talking about them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's always a risk of it being hagiographic, because I think I knew before he made it that he was a fan of Sparks. Edgar Wright was a fan of Sparks.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like that, though. It doesn't feel like... I mean, they probably... God knows, but there probably aren't any skeletons in the closet. But it didn't feel like the film was glossing over the controversial stuff. And I think we said at the time, like... And that's amplified by the fact that the people that used to work with them that got sacked from the band don't really have a bad word to say about them.
Yeah, exactly.
They just seem like good people.
Because you'd have to think, even if they were invited on to be a part of the documentary and they did reveal all these skeletons, when it came time to release the documentary and all of that stuff was mysteriously absent, they'd probably have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And there's been nothing.
Yeah, totally uncontroversial.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a risk of that. And the fact that they're, like, in on it. You know, like when Disney produces Saving Mr. Banks, you're like, can this really be trusted?
Yeah.
But they're in on it, but they're not in on it. Like the fact that they have no say over what it's called, or it's not like they're producing the film.
Yeah.
They're just the subjects of it, but they're in on the joke.
They are. And I think that's, they clearly trust Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Which must be wonderful for Edgar Wright, being such a huge fan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
To have your heroes trust you to do, like, the documentary on them.
Yeah. I hope it's Oscar nominated. It's the kind of film that would slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
But it's been up for a few documentary awards.
Okay.
So I hope that it gets through.
I'm not like I don't keep up with documentaries.
Yeah.
So I don't feel confident saying it's the best documentary of the year because I don't have anything to compare it to. But I would be surprised if it wasn't even close to being the best documentary of the year.
Well, obviously it's my favourite documentary of the year.
Yeah.
And I do watch documentaries, you know. I think Summer of Soul will probably win the best documentary Oscar. It's black.
Oh, there you go. We got our fourth review. Or third review of the episode.
It's one of the best. It's like the fifth best reviewed film of the year.
Right.
It's basically about like forgotten. It was like the Black Woodstock, and it's never been seen before. And they found all this footage and they cobbled it together. I think Questlove that directed it? The guy from The Roots.
Oh, right.
You know.
Yeah.
I think that will win. But yeah, this hands down my favorite documentary of the year, and there've been a few good ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think the big takeaway for me, like the big victory of the film, the thing that I'll kind of say, like, if asked about it, I'll say, oh, this is what's good about the Sparks Brothers documentary, is that it did, for me anyway, it did a really good job of sort of like showing you why the Sparks Brothers are so good and why that. No, we paid it off. It doesn't count.
No, you can't.
It doesn't count anymore because I paid it. It happened. I got it right.
No.
Can I edit that out?
No, you can't. You definitely fucking can't.
Can I just like
no way
sloppily take the audio from earlier and just like hammer it over?
I'm gonna make a note so that I will remember if you edit it out.
Right.
Carry on.
Okay. Yeah, it does a really, really good job of explaining what the big deal is.
Yes.
I think most documentaries are content with just sort of having people who are a fan going. They're sort of like telling you their experience of being a fan.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, I listened to them when I was younger and they've stayed with me ever since and they got me through hard times. And the music's like really good. And that's like fine. It's nice having those stories, but it doesn't really, to somebody who knew nothing about Sparks going into it, which is a position we were both in, like that only gets you so far.
Yeah.
It shows you that they're like the people who like them.
You're one of those bands, if you like them, you love them, sort of thing.
Yeah, but I feel like this documentary was really, really able to hone in on, no, these are the unique qualities of the band.
Yeah.
And this is why they've garnered such attention.
Yeah.
And why that, like, positive attention is deserved.
I agree.
And that, for me, is why it's, like, one of the best documentaries that I've seen in recent.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Surge.
Interesting.
Okay.
Explain.
Okay. We talk about it in episode 49.
Okay.
Go there.
Yeah.
Now. Fuck off. Yeah, we talk about it in episode 49. Yeah, it's again, in a bit like Boiling Point, it's an experience.
Yes.
It's an experience that's bolstered by, well, I say bolstered, almost entirely carried by the central performance from Ben Whishaw.
Yeah.
Because it's so against type for him.
Mm-hmm.
Q, Paddington, Ben Whishaw is just a lovely, lovely man.
Yeah.
He's not lovely in Surge.
No, he's not.
He's like, I don't know what's up with him in Surge. I don't know what his problem is.
He's had enough, hasn't he?
He's had enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Boiling Point, when I watched that, Surge was the go-to comparison in my head.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a great, great performance.
Yeah.
And a good film.
Mm.
But the film is the performance, isn't it?
It is the performance, and that can go either way, can't it? The fact that like this one element has elevated the film so far is a testament to just how good it really is. But yeah, also the fact that there isn't too much surrounding it. Mm-hmm. Like obviously it's well directed. I think like it's when you say it's well directed, it's hard to separate that from the performance.
Yeah.
Like the scene that I brought up in the review, and one that's really stuck with me is when he's in the hotel and he demolishes his room, but like carefully.
Yeah, specifically.
Yeah, the fact that he's like ripping up the mattress and slowly climbing inside it, and he's not doing it like an animal, he's kind of doing it with care and
methodically,
methodically, makes him feel so much more insane than if he was just tearing the room apart like an animal.
Well, we said, didn't we, like, I think at the time, I felt like it was almost like he was connected to the cosmos, that there was an intuitiveness to the way he was behaving. Like, yeah, I get it. It's like unfiltered. It's
something's moving through him.
Yeah, like when he whispers to the guy at the wedding, and the guy just walks away.
He just disarms the situation.
It's like he's keyed in. He's clued into the truth of the universe, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really do like it. I've only watched it the once.
Okay.
So it's probably worth a rewatch.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a performance film, and it's an experience film. Like, you kind of made the Safdie brothers comparison to me.
Yeah.
It's similar in that respect, where it's kind of like Good Time or Uncut Gems, where it's a really solid central performance.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of this
full on.
Full on close-up claustrophobic and just spiraling chaos.
Yeah.
And it is that. It's the British version of that.
Yes.
But it does it really, really well.
Yeah.
And that's why it's...
And the best thing about the film is that it has an implicit criticism of Michael McIntyre.
Oh, is he doing The Wheel now?
Game show, is it?
Yeah, Michael McIntyre's The Wheel.
Oh, I don't bloody know.
There's a wheel. I don't know if it's like Wheel of Fortune, but he's got a wheel.
Okay.
And it's gold. And that's what Michael McIntyre's doing now.
Gold wheel. Okay. Is that everything you wanted to say?
Yeah, Surge is good. I like Surge.
Surge is very good. Yeah.
This is the point of the list where it's like, it's alright. I don't feel bad about the list.
Yeah, I'm happy now with the list.
Yeah.
I just wish that, with the exception of my number 1, I wish they'd all been lower. I wish it'd been that kind of year.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My number 4 is season 3 of Succession.
This is your fault.
Because we're currently
watching Succession, and if you'd like got your act together,
and done it
we'd be on season 3 by
Yeah.
now. We might have finished season 3. I'd have had something else to put in my list.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even had to have worried about Spider-Man No Way Home. Fucking sneaking its way in.
The thing is, it definitely would have been in there as well.
Oh, would it?
Yeah.
Fuck you then.
Well, here's the thing. Succession, we haven't talked about it at all, I don't think, on the podcast.
No.
It's a good show. It's a very good show. I'm not going to premise it because we might well review something at a later date about it.
Okay.
But yeah, in short, it's about just a powerful media family. They're all billionaires, and they're all vying for the leadership position, essentially.
Yeah.
So backstabbing, betrayal. They're all horrible people. Yeah, it's like the biggest drama, not in terms of numbers, but critically, pretty much right now. Season 2. If there's a main character, it's Kendall. And he's down in the dumps in season 2. He's like kind of reeling from a horrible thing in the first season. And at the end of the second season, something happens that changes gears. And so season 3 is a lot more fun.
Okay.
It's all fun. Fun dialogue, fun everything. But 3, it gets back because he's no longer in that place.
Right.
And so he's a lot more dynamic and energized.
Okay.
And it's more of the same, but it's really, really, really good. You know? And it goes international a little bit. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil it because you're watching it, but it's still Succession, and it's great. It's a great show.
Do we get more of is it Greg?
Yes, Greg is still there. Yes.
Good. We like Greg.
Yeah, we like Greg.
I'm sorry if my bell summoned you.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. Because I think the only time I brought up Succession, if not passingly, is when I was complaining about the Emmys, and they just blanket nominate shows. And I think it's like, the Succession got 3 nominations in the supporting. Now it's hard to really quibble with it because there is Kieran Culkin, Matthew McFadden, and Greg.
Yeah.
You know.
But what does he say? Like when he's at the part. This is all season 1 stuff, obviously, because we're not that far into season 2.
No.
But yeah, when he just like slides up next to him after snorting the coke for the first time, he's like, "No matter where you go, it finds you."
Yeah.
The party, it just finds you.
I think the quote that's always highlighted from that show is, "To make a Tomlet, you have to break a few Gregs." Yeah, no, it's a great show.
Yeah.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is I Care a Lot.
Okay.
This was talked about in episode 43. I kind of briefly brought it up earlier. I was like, I think I've seen one of the best films of the year. And I had seen one of the best films of the year. It's very good. It's the type of premise that I'm immediately drawn to because it's just sort of, it's out there.
It's unique, yeah. It's out there, yeah.
You've got a woman who has her own, like, fraud crime ring thing going where she, like, tricks elderly people into, like to putting that person into care so that she can basically liquidate all of their assets and make profits, make bank off them.
Yes.
And she does this to the mother of a Russian crime boss.
Yes.
And shit starts to hit the fan.
It does indeed.
It's a very like, oh, that's a good premise, but it's fun as well.
Yeah.
It's a very fun film. Another great performance from Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund
Pike.
Yeah.
Another great performance from her.
Yes.
Obviously, Peter Dinklage is very good.
Yes.
Diane Waste I quite like, though.
Yeah, she's good. Chris Messina, I like a lot in it.
Yeah. He's one of those characters where it's like, oh, I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah, it's a shame you don't get to see more of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the great ensemble.
And it's one of those films as well where one of the nice things about the script is that it's not entirely clear who like the good guy is.
None of them are good people.
Yeah, there might be no good guy to this film. Your
No.
allegiances kind of naturally shift with the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people that you spend a lot of time with might not necessarily be the people that you're rooting for, and that's really nice when a film can pull that off.
That's the thing, I never rooted for her. I found it interesting, and like, because they're horrible as well. It's not a case of I hated her and therefore the film suffered. I liked the film a lot.
Yeah.
But I hated her.
Yes.
I thought she was horrible. And like, the only thing qualm I have with it is that they kill her doctor friend, partner in crime or whatever. And that is supposed to be the thing we're like, right, okay. Because she says, you broke the rules, you play this.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't buy that bullshit for a second.
Yeah.
You started all this shit. They had no choice. You know what I mean? Like, not no choice, but I didn't... I thought that was the film trying to get me on her side. Okay. And I wasn't having any of it.
Right,
so okay. No, she's just as bad as they are. There's no... All's fair in Love and War.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I've seen the film a couple of times since the first, and it has diminished for me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It hasn't held up quite as well as I would have liked it to.
Well, I think it's longer than one would expect it to be, right?
Yeah, and there's too much slow motion. There's a lot of slow motion.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I remember there being a lot of slow motion.
It's not, it's not become a bad film or anything. I still like it. But yeah, it's not as brilliant as I think that might have been a case of I'd watched a lot of not good things, and then that came along. Like, ooh, that's really good.
Yeah.
And now I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
But it's still good.
You're not slagging off my list.
I'm not slagging off
your list. Because now we're at the point of the list where it's a problem if you're slagging off my list now.
No, because I know what your next... Well, I hope I know what your next thing is going to be. I don't know I know what the last two things are.
Do you?
Yeah, because they're on my list as well.
Fucking Boss Baby. Come on. He's no idea. I'm going to say Boss Baby for number one.
Well, my number 3 is The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we can't talk about it yet.
Yes, we can't talk about it yet.
We can talk about it now. My number 2 is The Suicide Squad.
Thank God. Should we share number 1? That's nice. Okay. Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's your favourite film of the year then?
It's my favourite film of the year. Like it was I Care a Lot for the longest time. But like the conversation that we were having before the podcast, because I said to you, look, Sam, we're dangerously close to Spider-Man being my 10th favourite thing of the year.
Yeah.
Help. And we were sort of talking about like how I look at stuff. And I was like, I tend to favour stuff that I enjoy over like objective quality.
Sure.
Because there are like really good films that I like and I recognise their quality, but I would sooner watch something
that you just enjoy.
Yeah. Like Taxi Driver is not a film that I'm in any rush to go back to.
Right.
But I recognise just how good that film is.
It's masterpiece genius.
Yes, exactly. Whereas The Suicide Squad, I feel confident in saying that this is a film that I enjoy, but it's also just a really good film.
It ticks, it's nice when you get a film like that.
Yeah.
Where it's enjoyable, but I don't have to be guilty.
Yeah.
Because it's also really well put together.
Yeah.
Just a really good film. Yeah, I've seen it a few times. It definitely holds up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, a lot of fun. And I love the visuals of it. I love the way it looks.
A cinematography surprise.
Yeah.
For me. Like, this is like a strong contender for like best cinematography of the year for me.
Right.
Cinematography is like... I know that this is the year where we've kind of introduced the cinematography argument of like, oh, should we be raising the bar?
Right.
But like, cinematography is a really strong category this year.
Is it?
For me. Yeah, there's some really good... Like, Dune, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Whatever you think of the film, like Last Night in Soho looks really gorgeous. There's a lot of really solid looking films that came out this year.
Yeah.
And The Suicide Squad is a nice surprise because there's some genuinely like good stuff going on in the film. Like obviously all of those like diegetic title cards was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
The script, it's just like, I remember when the title card comes up, like the original Suicide Squad are exterminated on the beach, and then it pans over to like the new Suicide Squad, and the Suicide Squad comes on screen.
Yes.
And you just looked and you went, that's really clever. Like a lot of clever beats in the script.
Yeah.
And they're not smug, they're not full of themselves.
Not at all.
It's not like keen to explain itself to you. It's just having fun and being really competent while doing so.
I just love the colourfulness of it.
Yeah, that as well.
Just the types of heroes, as it were, that it has. It just nails that group.
Yeah.
It nails it really well. Yeah, like it's violent fun, but it's very, very well made.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not like gratuitous. It's not pushing it too far.
No.
It's got the right relationship with violence.
Margot Robbie was obviously born to play Harley Quinn. Sylvester Stallone
was born to play a shark.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Polka Dot Man, that's Martian, was born to play him.
Like Idris Elba, like the straight man of the film, like the quote-unquote boring one of the group. He has his moments.
That was nice. He had stuff to do as well. John Cena, really good.
Yeah.
You know. Peter Capaldi, wasted.
He's like the one weakness in the film.
Yeah.
He's like a wasted character,
Yeah.
which is a shame because the other characters are not wasted. They all have something to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's annoying that he's like he sticks out a bit like a sore thumb.
I think it's my second favourite film of the year. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a thing you wanted to say? Because that'd be a good segue.
What now?
Is that everything you wanted to say about the Suicide Squad?
Oh, you're going into your favourite film of the year.
I was going to say, because that would be a good segue.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. I won't stop you.
Well, my favourite film of the year is Limbo.
Ah, right.
My number 2.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about Limbo.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I've seen it only once.
Okay.
I still have only seen it only once. So that's the concession I'll make here. It was just a really nice surprise. Really out of nowhere. What's this? A film about Syrian refugees that isn't annoying.
Yeah.
It's visually beautiful. Considering
Again, another strong contender for cinematography.
Yeah, considering it's set in the Scottish Highlands.
There's fucking nothing there.
A lot of colour. Really nicely written. And not preachy. And again, just fun. And when it is making a point, it does it in a subtle, commendable way. Like about that character who's gay.
Yeah.
You know. The opening had me. The opening shot, the opening sequence. Like, yeah, I'm in. You've got me. But I have only watched it the once.
Yeah. But, no, it's nice, like, when you see a film go for broke like that.
Oh, yeah.
In its opening shot. It's like, right, people, you're going to like this or you're going to loathe it.
Yeah.
You're in it or you're out straight away. This is sort of what I mean about, like, it be, like, me favouring stuff I like over stuff that I recognise the quality of. I suppose that's the best way to address the discrepancy, right? It's my number 8, it's your number 2.
Yeah.
I did like it. It's definitely more your thing than it is mine.
Yes, I would say so, yeah.
I admire, like, I enjoyed the stoicism of it.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson light, I would kind of...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just how, like, it had these, like, weird characters in it that were simultaneously, like, larger than life and also very, like, real.
Yeah.
I know that's, like, a stupid contradiction. It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But, like, the guy in the supermarket... That's a character, but also that's like a person, you know?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it, but I wanted it to be a better year where that wasn't my favourite film. I'm not trying to damn the film with that.
No.
I really enjoyed it, but it's not Parasite.
No.
You know, I know very few things are.
Yeah.
But I would have liked it to have been a better year for film than it was. But that doesn't matter. Because we had a good TV show, didn't we?
Our seemingly mutual number 1.
It has to be. Season 2 of This Time with Alan Partridge.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not that.
It's not.
I'm going to assume that our favourite thing of the year was Midnight Mass.
It was.
Yes.
It was our favourite thing of the year.
It's rare that we agree.
Yeah.
At that level.
Yeah. Well, it's just like shows above a certain quality.
Yeah.
Or just entertainment above a certain quality. Just has this, like, it feels effortless.
What episode did we talk about it in? Just to...
Oh, yeah. We talked about this in... Oh, fuck, we haven't been doing this at all. All right, Suicide Squad was episode 52. Limbo was also episode 52.
Yeah.
This is episode 54.
Okay.
Our Halloween special.
Okay.
We did. We have talked about this a lot. You can go listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the effortlessness and the dignity and just the, like, it knows where it's going and it knows what to... Like, it's almost like it... Kind of like Parasite, it's almost like it wasn't made by a person. It's like it just came to be.
Yeah, I have no qualms about calling it a masterpiece. At all. It's a masterpiece, as far as I'm concerned. It's perfect. Like, the only thing... Well, not the only thing, but... Because I know it's not to everyone's taste... But the old age makeup is like the only...
Yes, that's unfortunate, but by no means a deal breaker.
No, not at all.
I know that some people may be missold on the show, because when they say, like, oh, it's like a horror show.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, it's going to be scary. It's not really.
Well, the thing that I get a lot from people who like horror, that say they like horror, is they like Insidious, and they like The Conjuring.
Like
and
pop horror.
pop horror, they to jump, you know, and whenever I then write, oh, you like horror? Oh, try this horror. They never like it,
right?
Because it's always, oh, where was not where was the jump, but there's obviously a certain type of horror that they like, and I've heard that back about this show, which is, oh, it wasn't that good. I was expecting something different. They were expecting Insidious or something like that, you know. I mean, I don't really know where to start. I don't want to recapitulate everything we've already said about it.
No, of course not.
Just go and listen to the review. It's my favourite thing about it. It's, God knows whether it is actually, but it's a vampire show that never calls itself a vampire show.
Yeah.
It might not be a vampire. It might be an angel, if that's what you want to think.
Yeah.
I have my own theory that we talked about. Not theory, but my own take on it.
Which is a unique take that I haven't really heard anyone else talk about,
right.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
That a show is able to... Like, your reading is completely unique amongst the readings that I've heard, and yet it sounds completely valid.
Yeah.
It works within the frame of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Every performance, every performance is perfect. Hamish Linklater. Mwah. That's the best performance of the year in anything.
Yes. No, I would agree with that. Completely agree with that.
God, where was that? He's been around for a little while in supporting roles, but where was that?
Yeah.
Just amazing. It's just amazing. It's visually beautiful. It is clearly something that he's been waiting a long time to make.
Yeah.
It's his magnum opus.
It was so nice to hear that this has been like a long-standing... Like some of his earlier stuff...
References it,
It gets referenced in that. If only to just be like, oh, thank God he didn't just knock this up in an afternoon.
I was so relieved. I said, this can't be the thing that he just did after Haunting.
It's bizarre. Like I said again in the review, like it's bizarre that this is like one of his only... Like he's one of his very few like original pieces.
Yeah. He's
mainly an adaptation guy, and yet this is what he's been like capable of.
Yeah,
well, we just haven't been harnessing this.
He does the adaptations maybe to like get his foot in the door to make this sort of thing. You know? I love that they let him do it because it is just a gorgeous thing. That exists, and I'm happy that it exists. I think he said like the reason that he put those references in the earlier films wasn't to kind of go, hey, you know. It was to keep it alive for himself. It was like, no, I'm not dropping Midnight Mass. It's going to be a thing. And it did. Yeah. And I can't imagine... I mean, I know a creator of something is never fully proud of it because, you know, they made it. I can't imagine he would have wanted it any differently than it is.
That's the thing as well. It's one of those rare cases where it feels like this is the show he wanted to make. Yeah. This isn't a compromise. This isn't like the best he could do. Yeah. And there's like a better version still in his mind. This really does feel like this is the definitive... Midnight Mass.
How many episodes are there? There's 7 episodes?
7, yeah.
Not 8, not 10.
Yeah.
He knew how much
knew how long it needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think Midnight Mass will slip through the cracks of history. I don't think it's going to be remembered or become like a cult hit or anything like that.
I really hope it doesn't.
I hope, well, for us it never will, obviously, but in the awards calendar, it's up for 3 Critics' Choice Awards and nothing else.
Right. Is he up at least? Is Hamish Linklater
He's up for Critics' Choice.
Well, thank God.
And the show is, and Zach Gilford, who plays Riley.
Yeah, okay.
He has, when I watch TV shows now and films, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. It's hard for me to really care about characters. That Breaking Bad, even when I first started watching that, was a revelation because it's like, oh, I care about Jesse. I haven't cared about characters since Lost. Lost makes you care about those people. Breaking Bad does as with certain characters. And Mike Flanagan seems to be able to do that. Hill House and this, I care about the characters. When something bad happens, I feel it. You know? And I don't know how he does that, but he has a unique skill for it. And it's one of the rare cases where it's a man punching up that doesn't annoy me because he's earned it. Yeah, he's earned Kate Siegel. Yeah, no, you know, I loved it. I think my favorite show of 2020 was Homeland season 8, which is also pretty damn great. It might be better than that. Okay, it might be the best show of the last few years. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's all I've got to say about that. Okay. Yeah. Anything to add? No, it comes highly recommended. It does. I mean, we've talked a little bit about what happens, but like if you are going to go back
to episode 54 and listen to the full review. It is spoiler riddled.
It is. The only thing we don't talk about is literally the final thing that happens.
Which was not the plan. It's just like...
Yeah.
I think as the conversation carried on, and our, like, love for the show was, like, fueling the conversation, we just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, maybe, like, go watch the show before you go listen to the review.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Maybe this is the kind of review that we should have done first.
Yeah.
And saved we couldn't have known, could we?
No.
But yeah, so it's our favourite thing of the year.
It is. How nice that we shared, like, a number one.
Yes. Yeah. If we'd agreed on the rules, then we would have had it last year as well.
Doesn't it, like, annoy you a little bit or upset you a little bit, though?
What?
I've watched, like, 2 TV shows and 30 films, whereas you've watched, like, 1 billion films
Yeah.
and 100,000 TV shows.
Yeah.
And we've both ended up with, like, a very similar list.
No, because as I keep pointing out to you, you see a lot of those because I see them and recommend them to you.
No,
you wouldn't have seen Surge had I not told you to watch it.
No, I wouldn't have seen Surge.
You wouldn't have seen Boiling Point.
Well, you don't know that.
I do know that.
No, you don't know that.
I know that.
No, you don't.
Come on.
Don't take that away from me.
Don't take what away from you.
I like Stephen Graham. I might have looked into it.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have heard of it. You wouldn't have. That's just the fact.
So because...
I'm not saying, like, oh, yeah, and fuck you. It's only because I... But that is true.
This is because you couldn't go last, wasn't it?
We both went last.
Well, we both had the same number one, so we both went
Sean,
last.
Something you need to understand. I don't... This energy in you, I don't have it.
Right.
I don't have that thing. I don't care about going last.
Okay.
Or, you know... The only time I care is when I know that you care too much. And that makes me care.
I was going to say...
like the last slice of pizza.
You don't care, and yet you do it anyway.
Do what?
Go last.
But that wasn't by design.
Oh, wasn't it?
No. You think I calculated to go last?
Well, you did.
Then you're more paranoid than I ever could have given you credit for.
I don't want to fall out with you.
Don't, then. Let's just end the podcast. What a great way to see the new year in.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. All right, then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.